My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 87 fight card. We're going to give you our picks, predictions, bets, and our DraftKings plays. But before we do, I just want to give you a sincere thank you. Before I do...
Is there something behind you?
Oh, my God. There is something behind me. It's my kid.
Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God, dude. I was just staring at that like, oh.
Dude, I had no idea.
Oh, my God.
Dude, this is what... You know what's so brutal about that?
Dude,
I'm about to...
Dude, my eyes...
I thought you were saying that to the stats.
No, I was like... What the fuck is behind you? I was like, if you turn around, I swear to God, if you turned around and said there's nothing there, I would have just left.
That would have been the play.
I would have just left, dude.
Remember growing up? You grew up in the,
shit.
you grew up in the country. I basically did, right? Connecticut. Like the biggest thing as a teenager driving home at night, no street lights, was just like a little girl in a dress in the middle of the street. Like that was like the fear of everybody.
There's nothing I hate. There's literally nothing I hate more than like creepy kids in movies, like those type of movies. So I literally like my heart fucking dropped when I was like,
so yeah, that was the little one. This is what, dude. It's a guarantee. Tiffany went to the gym. I put the girls to bed, gave them a bath, put them to bed. And now we're doing this. And then Tiffany was like. She just called me. She's like, are you live yet? I'm like, no. She's like, are the girls in bed? I said, yeah, they're fine. She said, all right, I'm just going to go for a walk. And then sure as shit, they're not fine. And then this one comes downstairs and haunts the... Anyway.
Like, I don't want to go to sleep tonight.
Well, neither does she. That's the problem. Anyway, I was about to thank everybody. So earlier, actually the end of 2023, we hit 20,000 subscribers. Huge milestone. It blows me away that we get anywhere near that. Then, during Jacob's live stream this past weekend, two things happened. One, you had the most live concurrent viewers you've ever had, 1,146, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Then, if you look at that chart, that's what this top chart is. If you look at that chart, look how steady that line is. You were live for 6.5 hours. And the average was over 800 people. That is astonishing. That's a credit to you, but also a credit to just, I mean, appreciate all the people.
You act like, you were, I'm surprised we're doing, not fucking surprised, I'll tell you that. I put in the work. I'm somebody that even if you don't like listening to me, at least you like looking at me. You know what I mean? At least you like looking at me, so you can put me on mute and just look at me. But if you listen to me, obviously I'm one of the funniest motherfuckers alive. So, I'm not surprised.
Then we also went over 4 million views. That's an astronomical number, like an astronomical number. And that's lifetime. If you go down and you just look at the last 30 days, we're almost at 300,000 unique views over the last 30 days. It's crazy. The growth is crazy. We appreciate every single one of you. Our main video is doing 20,000 views a week now. Like it's crazy what's happening. We appreciate all of you. This was a sincere thank you. Speaking of those weird noises, I went back to get these stats. I went back to your live stream video. I watch anytime I'm home watching the fights. I also watch your Fight Companion.
Honestly, I kind of wish I could watch me too.
What I've never done though is wait for it to come live. That whole 5-minute countdown thing. I didn't know your stupid ass is singing songs and talking. And, dude, I saw that for the first time today. I was like, what the hell?
You got to get the fucking stream pumped up, man. The intro is the most important part. Yeah, I'm singing, I'm rapping, I'm freestyling.
Dude, you were singing. You were like Mr. Sunshine. You're those songs you were singing. I was like, what the hell am I listening to? Anyway.
A lot of times it's Usher.
Just wanted
What's your favorite? Speaking of, you didn't even mention my shirt yet.
I just figured it's because the lock lost and it had something to do with that. I don't know.
Kind of feeling hella magical, fool. We got the Hakuna Matata. My question is, what would you say your favorite Disney song is? Do you have a favorite Disney? Everyone's got a favorite Disney song.
Well, as an adult with 2 young daughters that watch Disney movies, my answer now.
Don't do a new one. Come on, do a 90s Disney movie. Don't do what Moana.
So I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you two. Yeah. So growing up, it's like I could show you the world. Like it's that.
No
one.
way.
Magic man. But now, the Moana song.
The world.
No, we're not gonna do it. This is the intro. This is people's first. There's so many people that have never seen us before, and this is the first thing they're seeing right now. This can't be it. It can't be it.
I can open your eyes.
All right, come on.
Take
We're done
you
here.
wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on that magic carpet ride. A whole new world. A dazzling place.
All right, let's go, dude.
Okay.
All right, but now it would be the Moana song. My best friend. Da, na, 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 na. You're welcome. All right, let's go.
Can we get to the breakdowns? Holy shit.
This is a recap of UFC Mexico mixed card. Some bets were fantastic. The underdog lock of the week, he blew it. That was a great underdog. That was a great
Twice
underdog.
Back-to-back weeks. We had it one. Christian was a minus 1,000 on the line.
Was he really?
Yeah. Yeah. Going into the third round, he was fucking steamrolling. The ref missed the cage grab, missed the illegal knee.
All that stuff was
crazy.
All that stuff was a little ridiculous. But there was a shining star, and that was my $500 bet with Jacob. I picked Brian Ortega. I was shamed.
Dude, what the fuck?
Excuse me. You're going to show a lesser bet on Royval? Congrats on the $200.
I won $350 on you on Royval. So congrats on a little win.
I took
$150.
You didn't win $350.
Oh, I didn't.
That includes your bet, stupid. That includes your bet, stupid.
That might be right.
Yeah, it is right. I took $500 of your money.
That could be right.
Anyway, I picked Ortega. I was shamed. They shamed me. The people shamed me. You shamed me. I was shamed. I started to get nervous, and I wavered in my confidence in Ortega.
I tried to let
that
you.
happened.
The best part is I called you. I jinxed the shit out of it because I called you after the first.
You're like, how do you feel about that?
On the stream now, and I was like, yeah, how do you feel now, huh?
But what did I say?
I was like, and then I said this. I said, you want to double it? You want to do double or nothing? You were like, no, which made sense, right? But can you imagine if you randomly were like, okay, and I was like, oh no.
Well, I just gave you $1,000 over a bullshit takedown defense, but anyway, I felt good about that. Nice to hit a big underdog like that, get that payday. The safety parlay did finally break. I hit 9 in a row. It lost on Brandon Moreno. The guy showed up uninterested. All of a sudden, doesn't know how to throw more than one punch at a time. Just wants to duck his head and wing overhands. Looked like a shell of himself. My bad. The parlay missed.
You have quite the kryptonite going on with the safety parlay because your last two losses are to
Cody Brundage blew it for me.
Factory X.
And Brandon Royval blew it for me. So, yes, I'm no longer...
Good thing the people coming up, I guess Isaac is, he's probably going to be a favorite versus C-Rod, and you wouldn't have C-Rod in the safety parlay.
I don't know.
But,
I would not. But anyway, safety parlay broke.
C-Rod.
But what you do is you zoom out a little bit and you say, wow, 9 of the last 10, that means 90% win rate in the last 10 events. 72% win rate overall, 30% lifetime ROI, and I have never had a losing month of safety parlays. What that means when I say losing month, that's a rolling 30 days. So today is February 27th. Between now and March 27th, we'll get there. I promise you. If you do want to unlock the safety parlay for this event.
Are you talking to me?
The world.
Oh.
And every other event. What do you need? Go. No, she's not home. Damn, dude. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It is only $10 a month. You can unlock the safety parlay. You can unlock the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. You can also unlock the detailed data metrics. How do I block this kid? There we go. The detailed data metrics and analytics. You'll get everything you have ever needed to have some success watching these fights, including fantasy tools. We have the best DraftKings ownership projections in the game. That's an objective fact. The best ownership projections in the absolute game.
Oh, and
these DraftKings ownership projections are preloaded. What did you say?
No, I thought you were done. I was going to say, I'm going to sit here and open some cards while we talk, just because this card
you got time.
Wishy-washy, but...
No. You got nothing but time. The ownership projections are preloaded into the optimizer, which will build anywhere from 1 to 150 lineups for you. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. You ready to break down this card?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is kind of one of those cards, you know. This is just kind of one of those cards. A lot of actually cool names on the cards, but the matchups just don't cut it for me. So maybe it's one of those cards that you think is gonna be terrible. Your expectations are low, and then it comes out and surprises you. But
I hear you. I think it will be. What's interesting is I'm listening. I heard you.
No,
Your expectations are low. It might be a banger.
I think you're a little frustrated.
I'm a little distracted. Yeah, a little distracted. Well, because I'm like, Tiffany, get this kid out of here. What are you opening?
I said what I was opening. I said I'm going to sit here and open cards while we do these
that's what that was?
just,
it sounded like chips.
Just so I can keep myself entertained.
What I will say is, at first I was like, this card is trash. I've been telling you for 2 weeks. This is a...
Very first one.
Okay, we're not... We got to break
Very
down
first
this card.
one.
We're 11 minutes in. I was like, this card is trash. It's going to be absolute garbage. And then I started breaking it down. And here's my issue with this card. There's a lot of very good fighters on it, but in a lot of weird matchups. But let's go ahead and break it down. But first, we have a $5...
So you obviously didn't listen to what I said, because you literally just said exactly what I said about good fighters but not good matchups.
Yeah, sometimes when you say things, it's got that weird hillbilly twang. We got a $5 super chat from Dan Fox. He said, Angelo and Jacob been on separate sides of 17 fights this year. Jacob leads Angelo 9-8. Dude, Dan, who the fuck told you to keep score? Dan.
Holy
Thank you for the $5
got
super
like
chat.
a really good card too.
What is it? Show it so we can actually break this
Oh
shit
my
down.
God, 2 good cards.
We got to go. We got to break this down.
I got a Disco Shavkat, and then look at this one. A number to 25 fucking Ilya Taporia. Off the fucking rip, dude. That's a fucking monster card.
It is now, for sure. All right, put that down. Let's break down this card. Damn, dude.
Let's go.
Jacob Lyons. Ooh, I get it. First up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have Loik Radzhabov taking on Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady. This is this is one of those fun matchups on this card. Not huge in name value, not going to turn any casual heads, but a lot of people are going to be watching this fight and be very entertained. We got Loik Radzhabov, 17-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that knockout loss to Mateusz Rebecki. He's taking on Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady, 15-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is making his UFC debut. And the reason this is a good matchup is it's a bit of a clash of styles. We got Loik Radzhabov, nonstop wrestler. He has impressive throws, powerful hands. His striking is sloppy, but he has no issues coming forward and just bombing away. He's got solid takedowns. He can also be taken down, though. But he does have insane cardio and certainly enough to get through 15 minutes of action. He's coming off that loss to Mateusz Rebecki, where he was outstruck, outgrappled, and then finished in the second round. Taking on UFC newcomer Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady. This guy is a forward pressure striker who never sits still, constantly working, and he's just got like fast twitch actions. Everything he does is just lightning fast. He's got a low stance. He will duck his chin. He will just pump out feints, constantly pretending to do stuff. And while he does have plenty of movement and plenty of feints, this dude is actually hit constantly. I'm surprised at how often he gets hit. His takedown defense is solid, but mostly based in speed more than technique. He's not necessarily doing the right things, but he's so lightning fast, he can get his hips out of there and be good. What he does really well is he'll work in some takedowns. He's so dangerous on his feet that people are so worried about that, and all of a sudden, Al-Selwady's going to shoot a takedown that you didn't see coming. He's a dangerous guy. He does need to clean some things up, but he is a real suspect. Lots of tape on Al-Selwady. Wasn't hard to find tape on him. What I didn't find, though, was a lot of instances of him defending takedowns. And that's what I was looking for. What does it actually look like when somebody's grinding nonstop wrestling? Because I think that's what Loik is going to do here. He came off a bad knockout loss, and sometimes some of these guys get finished, and then they don't trust their chins. They're a little worried about their chins.
It was from the leg kicks. Relax. Come on. He got TKO'd from leg kicks.
they got beat. He got beat up, dude. His face was getting blasted. He got beat up. He got finished. He got stopped. He got finished. He was out wrestled. Everything. It was end to end. So I feel like sometimes some of these fighters don't trust their chin, don't trust their striking, and they completely change their game plan. He's already a wrestler. And yes, he does have some powerful hands, had a few good, very shining moments in his career, and then started to go down the path of, I can knock people out. Let me go that way. And after that last fight, I think he's going to be all in on the wrestling here. I am all for Loik going wrestle heavy, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think Al-Selwady's too fast, hits too hard, can make something happen. So I am going to go Al-Selwady here. I think he can get to Loik. I think Loik is going to try to wrestle early. I don't think he's going to trust the striking. And then I think Al-Selwady is going to have a good night and get it done. So he's going to be the pick, but not super confident. And that's just because Loik is so good. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I actually think that you talked about that Rebecca fight for Loik. I think that this fight looks very similar to that fight because it was Rebecca that put Loik on his back foot with that pressure. And when Loik was moving backwards, he definitely looked like a different person than moving forward, right? He was getting his legs beat up early. He couldn't really offensive wrestle. He was getting a little bit desperate. And by the time that, he kind of figured out the range and was able to put a little bit more pressure, then his legs were gone. He ended up getting TKO'd. If you watch Al-Selwady, kind of the reason why I think people have issues wrestling him is he is like nonstop. He is a hard guy to keep kind of corralled where you can take a good shot. He is left, he is right, he is constantly moving. As you said, very high volume, just touching, he's doing all this active stuff, and he has offensive wrestling as well. So I think Al-Selwady, when I broke down this fight, honestly, I figured that Loik was going to be a favorite. I didn't think he should be a favorite, but I figured that the big dude with the big power against the guy that does get hit in Al-Selwady coming for his UFC debut isn't going to be quite ready. And I thought Loik was going to be kind of a minus 125, minus 150 favorite, something like that. And then I saw he was a dog, and I was like, that's surprising me, but it does make sense. Al-Selwady is the better fighter. If this gets out of the first round, I don't think Loik's going to have the power to break a guy like Al-Selwady, because even if he gets hit, he's a tough guy. He's not a guy that in my mind, that's just going to get flatlined and just kind of lay there and turtle up. So I like Al-Selwady to kind of survive the power early of Loik. He also has really good leg kicks as well to get to Loik. We'll see if he cleans up that defensively, but I think Al-Selwady is the better fighter. This could be one of those fights where people expect to finish, and it's just Al-Selwady kind of dancing around and going to a decision. So, but I do like Al-Selwady in this.
Well, and that's what I said in my quick picks, where I was like, this could either be a boring 3-round wet blanket kind of fight, or a very quick knockout, or anything in between. Anything could happen in this fight. So I'm with you. It could be fireworks, and it should be, because they're both little. They both got plenty of cardio, and they can both do all the things. You're just going to keep opening these cards. It sounds like chips, and my fat ass is like...
I did eat some chips on the stream, I'll tell you that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I am going to sit here and open some. I bought some.
Okay.
I just spent $3 on cards. So
we're both on the same side here. The odds full-blown flipped. You can check those opening odds. Loik opened at a minus 175 favorite. He is now
makes sense to me. I didn't even know that.
It's right here on the screen.
Well, it wasn't when I was talking, so I didn't even know that. So that makes sense. I said that I thought that he would be the favorite, so... Yeah, I mean, holy shit, I'm so smart. It's crazy.
Anyway, now Al-Selwady is the favorite, but I'm not going to bet on him here. I mean, we've seen UFC newcomers struggle a little bit. Loik is very, very good, and I actually think getting TKO'd in his last fight. Who is that?
I'm just showing the stream. You don't have to respond to it. I'm just showing the stream. I'm opening cards.
Well, I thought you were showing me.
No.
I think Loik getting finished in his last fight helps him go all in on the wrestling. So the pick is going to be Al-Selwady. $8,400 if he finds the chin, if he gets a finish, could be very worth it for your DraftKings lineup. $7,800, that could be worth it as well in your DraftKings lineup if Loik is going to go all in on the wrestling.
I think he's going to gas if he does that, because Al-Selwady's a good wrestler.
And speed. Al-Selwady's just so insanely fast.
Fast, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Al-Selwady is going to avoid everything, be able to stay out of the way, land a whole bunch of strikes. I don't know if he's going to offensively wrestle, and that's what makes this DraftKings price so tricky. But if you do want to check out the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month.
Become a premium member today, because don't forget, a portion of your $10 goes to me going to fucking Brazil. So please, for the love of God, I got to get there, and I got to get there fast. Become a premium member. Support the stream. Thank you.
Help Jacob get the hell out of here. We do have a couple of super chats that are also helping Jacob get out of here. We have $5 or $4.99 from Dr. Y. Dr. Y said, Jacob told us to go all in on Royval on the live stream.
I don't think I actually said that, but but I think, I actually did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't say Moreno. Only reason I'm up last week. I went all in, almost $200 on Royval and smashed. So
I did win 500 on Royval in that main event, and that was pretty nice.
That's the third main event in the row where the underdog won. 3 in a row. We're due. We're due for a favorite. We are due for a favorite in a main event. Harpreet Singh with the $14.99. What did we determine this money was? I forget what it was. We figured it out last time. We Want Picks, best channel for breakdowns. Thank you very much, Harpreet. You're very generous week in and week out. We appreciate it. Dodo said, does the buffet bandit ever loosen up on his breakdown? He's like a robot sometimes. Listen, Dodo. First of all, this is skinny. I'm skinny now. I'm fucking jacked now. Those are bruises from training all the time. Do me a favor.
Hands and knees.
And yeah, I would destroy a fucking buffet because there's nothing better than a Chinese buffet. That shit is delicious. Funny? But I've also, hold on. I'm sober, Ange. I'm not sober, Ange. But I'm skinny, Ange.
You were
cut it with the fat
Saturday
cracks.
Night. I could tell.
What? I didn't see you Saturday.
Well, when I called you,
I didn't drink Saturday at all.
I was like, damn it, Angelo.
I was 90% asleep. I was laying on the couch almost asleep. Then we have a $20 super chat from Future Governance. WWP Discord is goated. If you want to check out the Discord, as of now, it is 100% free. There are some channels for premium members only, but overall, the Discord is 100% free. That's not going to last very long. The Discord will eventually be premium only. It's huge. It's growing quite quickly, but you can go in there. You can share your thoughts, share your ideas, pick people's brains, and check all that out. And I think we're ready to move on to the next one.
Can't wait.
Next up.
We got a 5 spot from Siggy.
Oh, there we go. 5 from Siggy. And this is specifically Brazil money. So we appreciate you very much. Very much. You can't.
It means no worries for the...
Next up. I know why you're doing it. Next up at UFC Vegas 87, we have Vinicius Oliveira taking on Bernardo Sopaj. Now, Tapology has it S-O-P-A-J. Everywhere else is S-O-P-A-I.
I think on his Instagram it's I. So
yeah, and Tapology is usually the authority on this stuff, but they were far outdone by
it's
every
like a Swedish thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, every other platform's got the J. And this is
Dutch.
A brand new matchup. I believe this was announced today. So this is a brand new matchup. We are fortunate enough. Bernardo the Lion King Sopaj. And we do have odds for this fight, which is very, very helpful. And you can see those odds tightened very quickly. We'll talk about why that may be in a second. But we got Vinicius Oliveira. He was already on this card. He had a very easy matchup. He was in a steamroll, that dude. Now it's a very different matchup. But Vinicius Oliveira is 19-3 overall. He is 4-1 in his last 5. And he's coming off a knockout win on the Contender Series this past season. He's taken on Bernardo Sopaj. This guy is 11-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's riding a 3-fight win streak into his short notice UFC debut. Vinicius Oliveira is a fun guy. Charges forward. He throws everything looking for a finish. He is sloppy, but he is dangerous. He's not just chaos on the feet. He can be chaos on the ground as well. He goes all in on ground and pound, just gets you to the ground and just hammer fists trying to get those finishes. He is winning fights with aggression and power. He's looking to take all that aggression, take all that power, take that Contender Series knockout, and find himself in a real UFC win. Taking on Bernardo Sopaj. This guy stepped up today. It was announced today. He probably got the offer last night, and it went through today. It is Tuesday. This guy is in a fist fight in 4 days in the UFC. But he's a fast-paced guy, high-energy striker. He's got power for his size and incredible speed. He will constantly move forward, and he's just going to stay light on his feet and put things out there. When he sees openings, he exploits them. He just explodes in the combinations. He has solid takedown defense as well with great hips, but he doesn't look to shoot offensive takedowns very often. He's a very small guy for this weight class. But that may benefit him here on short notice. He's not going to have to cut a lot of weight. He's so small that I went through his Tapology. I'm like, is he a 125-pounder that's stepping up on short note? But no, he's 35-pounder.
He's fought a few times at 125.
But like it's been a while. Yeah,
but he's also only 23, and he started his pro career at 16, so 125 was a little bit easier to make at 17 years old.
Yeah. But he is a bit undersized, and I guess we'll see how bad it is on the scale. But anyway, fast, high energy, good power, all of those things for his size. This should be a fireworks fight. Both of these guys are high energy. Both of them are looking for finishes. I think Bernardo is actually going to be the better, more technical striker, but Oliveira is definitely going to be the more dangerous guy. I actually do think Oliveira wins this fight just with wild forward pressure, big bombs, being the bigger person in the cage. But if he doesn't get a very durable Bernardo out of there early, he could be in some trouble. And Bernardo has the cardio. He has the durability. He can push a hard pace. I'm still going to lean Oliveira. He is going to be my pick here. And short notice has a lot to do with that. But I do think Bernardo's a pretty good dog in this spot. I'm not touching it, though. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Nice fucking graphic there.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, I didn't update it. Go ahead. I will stay back here. Damn it, I made it and everything. Son of a bitch.
I was going to sing and dance the Lion King too, but that just literally just took all the spirit out of me.
You can do it right here. Go ahead.
I'm going to be a mighty king, so enemies beware. See, he just took all the joy out of my life. But his nickname is the Lion King, so I've been having fun with that because that's one of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard. People, you're going to hear all week too when people start talking about Bernardo. They're going to talk about the gym he's at. He trains with Chimaev. He's boys with Chimaev, and you're going to hear a lot this week. Exactly. You're going to hear a lot this week like, he trains with Chimaev, so that's why he's going to win. Let me preface this by saying I don't give a fuck that he trains with Chimaev, right? Chimaev is a 200-pound man. It's not like they're grappling and wrestling together. They happen to be at the same gym. It seems like it's a pretty good gym, but there's a lot of good gyms. So that whole thing has nothing to do with my breakdown. My breakdown is I think Bernardo is the better fighter. I think he is straight up the better fighter. And if this wasn't a short notice fight, by the way, Bernardo was already scheduled to fight next weekend to defend his title in a title fight. So I believe he's going to be more than ready for this fight. This isn't like coming off the couch and I've been training, but I'm not. He was in camp a week away from defending his title. He's going to be ready for this matchup. But I think he is the better fighter. I had money on Vinicius versus last opponent, the Frenchie, because the Frenchie was a guy that was low volume, can get hit, has his chin up. It just seemed like a perfect matchup for Vinicius. I was very confident in Vinicius in that matchup. But as I was breaking down Vinicius, because I hadn't watched the French guy yet, obviously he's fought before, but I hadn't watched him yet. As I was breaking down Vinicius, I was thinking, what would beat him, right? I know what he can do. He's got power. He's going to have the power advantage, and maybe he knocks out Bernardo. But I kept thinking as I'm watching him, what type of fighter can beat him? What beats him is somebody that is durable, has good footwork, is a good counter striker, but is a very, very technical person, right? That will push up some pressure, but knows how to stay safe with the footwork. And when this fight got announced and I started watching Bernardo, I said, holy fuck, this is the guy in my head that I thought could beat a guy like Vinicius. Vinicius is going to have the power advantage over everyone. And if he comes through and snipes Bernardo, you know, that can happen. That is a possibility. But Bernardo is the better fighter. He is the better overall fighter. He's the better striker. He's got good counter power in his own right. He's not really that short notice. And I think that if he wasn't like short notice, he would be the favorite because he's the better fighter in this matchup. So I got the plus 185 odds. You can't get that anymore. Premium members, I've already been thanking me for that value, the closing line value that we've got on that. This could tighten up even more. If you're going to play this, I think you should play Bernardo money line and maybe take like a first round KO for Vinicius to hedge it and then just run the money that way. But I'm very high on Bernardo.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the better fighter, but not the more dangerous fighter. And he is small. I think the size and the short notice are going to be the difference.
I mean, he looks like he's fucking filling out. 23 years old. That dude's...
Yeah, he's like 5'5" or something. Like, he's small.
He's like 5'6". Vinicius is like 5'9", but it's not like he's not fought taller people before. When you're small, you always fight some taller people.
Well, and Henry just dropped Merab. So, yeah, listen, I'm with you. If this was not short notice, I may have had a different pick, but I'm just going to go with the danger side, and I do think short notice is a bit of a factor here. Just everything to to get to Vegas. He wasn't planning on being in America. He's got to fly across the world and then deal with all that, and had to get coaches last minute. That's a lot of shit to do all at once.
You take lots of shits. He's on that. There he is with Garam. Garam's in that camp.
That bum was just knocked out.
He's the one that's over my name.
Who's all the way on the... Yeah. Who's doing the right? I don't know. Anyway. I'm with you. Very good dog. Wow, great. I do hate that Chimaev.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, this guy trained with Chimaev.
When Chimaev was like at one gym every weekend, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, he trained with Chimaev. Oh, he had like one sparring session with Chimaev. Congratulations.
Yeah, so did Darren Till. How'd that go? You know what I mean? Yeah, he got fucking smoked.
D Till catching strays.
Do I pin this super chat that we just got, this $10 super chat? I don't know. On the fence. Anyway, Jacob and I are split on this fight.
Yeah, you fucking do. That's a great fucking name.
Jacob and I are split on this fight, but I don't think we're that far apart, if that makes sense. I'm very slightly on the Oliveira side, and he is on the Bernardo side. So I don't think we're... Look how much bigger Garbrandt is than him. Dude, he's small.
He's a thick guy. He's not tall, but he's still strong. He's thick. He's a confident dude too, man. I like Bernardo. He's a confident dude.
Well, Jacob's on the Bernardo side. We don't have DraftKings pricing just yet, and I am curious to see what that pricing will look like because dude opened at plus 185, already down to plus 119. I did these graphics earlier today. I don't know what the odds are this minute.
I think it went to 125, but I think it's holding steady there. I'll check it.
I don't think he'll flip to a favorite because Vinicius is dangerous, was already on this card. He'll never full flip to a favorite. He will stay a dog.
And I tell you, when I placed that 185, I said in the premium, I was like, I don't know what these odds are going to do. I had no idea. Maybe they got wider, but I was confident or comfortable enough at the 185. I was like, I don't even care if this goes to plus 250. I'll bet him again. You know, I feel good about it. And sure enough, it's at 123 right now.
And it was like when I bet there's the opposite side. It was a favorite, Rogerio de Lima. I got him at like minus 290, being like, yeah. And then he went all the way down to like, it corrected itself. The world righted itself, and then he looked like he should have been.
Water's always wet. You know what else is always wet?
Who? Or what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you
umbrella
wouldn't
and
know.
rain.
Yeah. Anyway. We are both.
Jesus.
We both understand how dangerous Oliveira is. Jacob
Just play Bernardo money line and take a Vinicius KO hedge. I think that's the way to play it. Well, Vinicius by KO is going to be plus money too.
Yeah, it depends how plus both those bets are.
But listen, plus monies, that's basically an arbitrage.
It literally is.
I don't see Vinicius winning a fucking decision.
I don't either. That's why I said he's going to finish this early or he's going to be in some trouble after whether it's Bernardo is a durable guy. He is fast. He's got all the things, but I'm leaning inside of the card. Jacob's on the other side. If you do want to check out the bets, Jacob has a plus 185 bet on Bernardo. The ticket was in the Discord. He told everybody, jump on this. And that's the benefit to premium membership. You get these things nice and early. You get all sorts of stuff we don't talk about. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It is only $10 a month. You're going to get 4 full fights with that money. We got a couple of super chats. We have $1.99 from Trenton Popowski. Trenton Popowski. He said, I can attest to Dr. Y's comment. Dr. Y talked about Jacob telling everybody to go all in on Roy Val during his 1,000-person live stream.
We did it, Joe. We did it.
We want dick pics, $9.99. And this is also for Jacob's trip to Brazil.
That's $15. We're almost there. That's a month's rent.
$2 from VHS Quality. We getting a dub this week or nah? Well, hopefully yes. So.
Oh yeah. Oh look,
hopefully yes. Who is that? Martin Bidet. He's pretty good. I'll take that. Next up at UFC Vegas 87, we have Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Claudio Ribeiro. Christian Leroy Duncan, 9-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that knockout win over Dennis Tululin. He's taking on Claudio Ribeiro, 11-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that second round KO loss to Roman Kopylov. Can you be done with these cards already? It's very distracting.
I'm not. I'm just. This is like the over-under TikToks. You're talking, and I'm doing the cards.
Yeah, those are brutal. Everybody hates watching somebody and then like a car going through a maze for some reason. Nobody likes that.
That's why they're so popular, because people like to watch stuff.
They're
as they're
popular because it's stolen content and they need to put something on the screen.
No,
so
it's like
copyright.
ADHD type stuff. It's so you can watch something while you're listening to like a regular, like just a boring podcast. You don't understand that?
I completely disagree. And this is not a boring podcast.
Well, half the time it is.
The first half of every breakdown's kind of boring. Anyway, got Christian Leroy Duncan. This guy's a high pressure fighter. 8 finishes and 9 wins, multiple regional championships. He has 2 wins in the UFC. Powerful striker, comes forward, good pressure, speed. He's pretty creative with his strikes. He throws anything and everything at his opponents. He has no regard for what comes back his way. He can be wild, sometimes very sloppy, but he is incredibly dangerous on the feet, and he's got solid ground and pound if he ends up on top. He's coming off that bounce back win over Dennis Tululin, where he was able to get the job done in the second round. And like Duncan, Claudio Ribeiro is also insanely powerful and also a striker. He can put you out with both hands while marching forward and bombing away. He doesn't care what comes back his way either. Both of these guys are willing to stand there in a firefight and make something happen. Claudio Ribeiro has a professional boxing background. It does show in some of his fights. The easy path would be to take him down, but he's got pretty good hips and very solid takedown at 75%. Even if that does fail him, he does work his way back up to his feet pretty quickly. He's coming off that second round knockout loss to Roman Kopylov, where he did have some early success, and he won the first round on 2 judges' scorecards. We already saw this one.
I know, but somebody's in the chat that I needed to show. Will you just keep doing what you're doing and stop being like a little puppy? You're being so distracted. Yeah, you're a little puppy.
You're literally throwing shiny things up on the screen.
Yeah, I got something big and shiny too. I can show you.
Why is it shiny? Why is it shiny?
You don't baby oil your dick?
Both these guys are essentially mirror images of
4
each
million
other.
Views, huh? How did that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah. How did that
These guys are essentially mirror images of each other, at least as far as the danger and the recklessness is concerned. That's why I am surprised that Duncan's a good-sized favorite here. He was minus 225 when I did my quick picks on Sunday. He's now chilling at minus 300. And of course, Duncan can win this fight. He probably does win this fight. He's a dangerous striker. Claudio gets put out. But Christian can also lose because sometimes he tries too hard and he gets hit in the process. Go watch that loss to Armen Petrosyan. He was getting too fancy, too stupid, and lost to the basics. And if he plays those games, well, Claudio Ribeiro can actually catch him spinning around or doing something he shouldn't be doing. Shut up. Christian Leroy Duncan is the more technical fighter. He should win here. He is going to be the pick, but Claudio is also very dangerous. I do not think this fight goes the distance. What do you think, Bombelotes?
Got an auto. There you go.
Of Armen Petrosky? Didn't he just let us all down?
Andre Petrosky?
Yeah.
He got fucking smoked on that short notice, whatever. I mean, that...
Oh, yeah. Who did it?
Don't get me started here.
Who beat his ass?
It was,
I remember being disappointed in that as well.
Stop. It was, fucking... It was just a nice, clean right hand. Just fucking sat his ass down.
Let's see.
Michelle Pajeda. Yeah, Michelle Pajeda.
Yeah. Michelle Pajeda did it. That's right. Yeah, 1 minute into the first round. All right, go ahead.
People are like,
who do you think wins
Petrosky's
this
going to
fight?
wrestle him. I will say this for this fight. I get that CLD is the favorite, right? He is probably the better fighter. And I'm going to go against myself here a little bit because I always say, why would you pick against the better fighter? But sometimes the better fighter doesn't do what he's really supposed to do, or he does things a little bit weird. And I would say that CLD is one of those guys that he is good, but this dude thinks he's fucking really good. And I'm talking about really good. I mean, he will just stand in front of you with his hands down and then try to do like a spinning wheel kick or a fucking flying knee just randomly at random times. And because of that, he does get hit randomly at random times. He's shown a pretty good chin, and he is 9-1, so it seems like it's working for him up to this point. But he lost a decision because he just wasn't doing enough and was just kind of trying to be that crazy dude the entire time. And his fight IQ to me is not very good. Claudio is what he is. He is a brawler. He's going to wait and wait and wait to throw one punch at a time. But if he lands that one punch, he's going to be fucking all over you. The issue with Claudio is he'll land that one punch, blitz you in, pop, pop. He's probably one more shot from putting you away, and then he'll shoot a takedown. It seems like every single time he just randomly shoots a takedown. So Claudio is also a hard guy to trust as well. But I think that in this matchup, he is going to be able to find a shot because Christian gets hit. He fights with his hands low, and I'm going to take a little bit of the value playing Claudio. I'm not playing money line or anything crazy. I'm getting more specific. I'm playing knockout for Claudio, just very small. I think he can find the shot. I think he is going to win this fight, but, I mean, CLD's the better fighter, so, honestly, CLD should win, but, paying minus 300 for CLD, I wouldn't do that.
I get it. People are insanely confident in Christian Leroy Duncan. And he's as you said, he's the better fighter in this matchup, but we watched in that fight with Dennis Tululin. Or sorry, not Dennis Tululin, but Armin Petrosky before the Dennis Tululin fight. He lost to basics. He lost to just like 1-2s and he just lost to clean striking because he was doing stupid shit. He is the better fighter here. He should absolutely win. We've seen Claudio put out before. Probably gets put out again. But if he doesn't, Christian does. I do think this fight does not go the distance under 2.5. Makes a lot of sense here if that's the line that you've got going on. Are you looking at the odds on that? Is that what the turn was?
Minus 400 does not go the distance.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. But $8,900 in DraftKings is tricky because if he wins, he's definitely going to be worth that money. I do think he wins. He's probably worth that money. And there's a lot of egregious price tags on this card because a lot of big favorites. And there's a lot of people that should just be okay favorites that have turned into big favorites. And I think it's people trying to recoup some money from last weekend and stuff like that. But if you do want to...
Jesus Christ, loaded. Thank God we got the Lion King because it was loaded with favorites, basically.
Yes. No, this was definitely... And you know what's brutal? So the last... I think the last two cards, it was something like there's 24 fights in the last two cards. 20 favorites have won in the last two cards. 20 favorites of 24 fights. This card, most of the favorites should win, and watch it just be on wild underdogs all over the place. Just to remind everybody that betting on MMA is crazy.
Remind me of a girl that I once knew. See her face whenever
I was like, all right, that wasn't so bad.
I look at you, wouldn't believe all of the things she put me through.
We're going to get a lot of Jacob is annoying comments.
We're going to get some copyright strikes is what we're going to
get. Anyway, if you want to unlock all the picks, the bet around 9 leans, and the safety parlay for UFC Vegas 87, you can do that now. It's only $10 a month. And the safety parlay continues to be stable. We did miss last week, but we have hit 9 of the last 10. 9 of the last 10 in a volatile sport like this is absolutely insane. WeWantPicks.com.
Well,
click become a member at the top.
I just want to say nice job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do need it to get back on track, though. We do have a couple of super chats. Ryan Godwin.
Holy shit.
$2.99 for Jacob. I don't know what the currency is, but there's $2.99.
And what I say on the live streams, too, is do not fucking donate unless you are already a premium member. You might as well just become a premium member first, get something for return for your money, and then you can start donating. That's what I would recommend.
I mean, that does make sense. Here is $1.99 from the dude skipping to 0409. Thoughts on skipping to 0409? Oh, the
April 9th?
March dates?
On, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, thoughts on Poirier Saint Denis? Thanks in advance. I mean, we're going to break down that card next week. Personally, I think Saint Denis steamrolls him.
Do you know what Dominic Cruz called Benoit Saint Denis?
But
he called him Benoit Saint Denis.
Jesus Christ! I thought Dominic Cruz was like educated,
and he was serious.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy for him.
And he was serious.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Benoit absolutely smokes him. So yeah, who's that? There we go. Ooh,
look, Greg Hardy. That's a cool card, honestly.
That is a cool
card. Badass knockout.
I can't believe you're still opening this shit. Next up. At UFC Vegas 87, we have Aiemann Zahabi taking on Javid Basharat. Aiemann Zahabi, yes, we're going to get so many comments that looks exactly like Ariel Helwani. It is astonishing how much he looks like it. No. You're not opening a new box. It is astonishing how much he looks like Ariel Helwani.
Excuse me.
Astonishing. All right, guys, I would love comments whether you're watching
type
live
a one in the
or
type a one in the chat
No.
if you want me to open this next box too.
Whether you're watching live or you're watching this, one of the 20,000 people that will watch it later, I would love comments to know if you don't mind, Jacob, opening up cards and holding shiny shit up to the screen.
What's the difference between that and you doing stuff on your phone, or you're doing this, or you just leave to go deal with your fucking kids or something?
When did I leave? I just let her cry in the background. I didn't leave.
You have before.
She wasn't crying, actually. But anyway, we have Aiemann Zahabi taking on Javid Basharat. Aiemann Zahabi, 10-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is on a nice 3-fight win streak, taking on Javid Basharat, one of 2 Basharat brothers. He is 14-0, undefeated in his career. He is coming off that no contest with Victor Henry. I love the Basharat brothers. I love Javid. I don't think he's as good as his brother, but he is very, very good. He's a grappler, incredible offense and defensive wrestling. No problems with the kickboxing match either. He lands almost 6 significant strikes per minute, and he's hit with fewer than 3. And that's a fantastic ratio for a guy that has no problem sticking around for a kickboxing match. We have seen him out-grapple people. We've seen him out-strike people with little resistance. He is coming off that no contest over Victor Henry, where he won the first round, but it was stopped quickly in the second because of a low blow. He's taking on Aiemann Zahabi. That last name may sound familiar. He's Firas Zahabi's brother. Firas Zahabi runs a very prominent gym in Canada. He was George St. Pierre's coach. And what that tells you is that Aiemann Zahabi has been around high-level fighters, high-level coaching, and just high-level MMA for his entire career. Style-wise, he's a pretty well-rounded guy, more of a striker than anything. He can be a little low volume at times, but he does have some big power. He has solid takedown defense at 75%, but he has given up a few key takedowns, which have cost him fights in the past. He's coming off that knockout win over Arichi Lang. I've picked on the Basharat brothers. I've bet on the Basharat brothers. I have safety parlayed the Basharat brothers more than once. And I don't know if this fight is much different. Javid should be able to win this fight. He should be able to avoid any power that comes his way. I personally feel he was well on his way to beating Victor Henry before that no contest. I will say it wasn't a mauling. I was hoping the first round would be a mauling. It wasn't a mauling. One judge actually gave Henry that first round. But Aiemann is not as high volume as Henry. He's not as tricky to deal with as Henry. And Aimann's likely going to spend the majority of this fight backing up. So I think Javid wins this fight, probably by decision if you want to get some better value than this minus 700. This movement here, the 400 to 700, this basically happened in the last day and a half, 2 days. The lines have just
right now.
Yeah, the last 2 days, these lines have jumped off. It's crazy. I don't know.
Jump around.
I don't know why it's been so dramatic, but it has been. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I kind of get the odds. I mean, minus 800 is probably, a little aggressive because, this is probably a decision fight, right? Javid is not necessarily a big finisher. I think there's definitely going to be some opportunities, especially on the ground, if he can get there, if he can get the back of Zahabi to be able to find a finish. But these Basharat brothers are the fucking real deal. And I know a lot of people got scared. I mentioned my quick pick video with the Bonfim brothers and other situations where we had these big kind of, favorites come in and just kind of lose in the first round. But the good news with these Basharat guys is they're not first round or bust type of guys. I mean, they are very just kind of methodical fighters. They're very, and Angelo will talk about this about fighters sometimes, they're very opportunistic, right? They obviously want to get to the wrestling, want to get to the grappling. That's kind of their bread and butter. But they don't mind just kind of playing that touch game and being smart about it and waiting for that opportunity because they're not forcing the wrestling. It's like the wrestling just appears out of nowhere. They make it look so easy because they time everything so well and they don't force things. And when they get you on the ground, that's where they kind of really shine. And I think that Javid is going to know that Zahabi is just going to wait and throw that big power, and he's just going to touch, and he's going to touch, and he's going to touch, and the second that big power comes from Zahabi, he's going to level change, he's going to get the takedowns, get the control, and really kind of control this fight. So Zahabi does have that power, kind of like the Oliveira, the Vinicius in the first breakdown. He's gonna always be live. He's got that type of power where he's always going to be live. But these Basharat brothers are very high IQ guys. They know he's going to know what's in front of him. Javid is probably a little bit more wild than Fareed, in my opinion. He will do a little bit more of like a flying knee or a spinning back kick, stuff like that. I think you tighten that shit up, stay tactical, get the level changes when you can get them, and get out of there with the win, because Zahabi he's dangerous. So, but I like Javid in this matchup.
So we did 4 million views this past weekend. We've got 22,000 almost subscribers. These videos do anywhere from 400 to 600 live viewers, depending on the quality of the card. I don't know if the people who watch us live are a representation of the broader audience, or if it's just a certain group of people that watch us live. For some reason, the people watching us live right now are absolutely positive Aiemann Zahabi wins. We have y'all sleeping on Zahabi. We have Zahabi gonna have a perfect game plan. We have Basharat always gets hit clean and Zahabi has one punch. I'm going Helwani inside the distance. Fraud check incoming. I mean, the love for Zahabi right now, this can't be real. You guys cannot be serious. I have to imagine it's just trying to be different in live chat, because let's go back to the stats very quickly. And I know stats aren't everything, but these guys have a large enough sample size. Aiemann Zahabi lands 3 significant strikes per minute. He's hit with 3-4. He is hit with more strikes than he lands. He gets taken down 25% of the time. 16% of the time is his accuracy with offensive takedowns. Javid Basharat is landing 6.65 significant strikes per minute and is hit with 2.5. And somebody said Javid Basharat is always hit clean. He's never hit. I don't get the love for Aiemann. He knocked out a couple of very chinny guys. I don't get the love for him. I'm all over Javid here. The odds are getting crazy. They're a little too far gone. But all the trust in the world in Javid Basharat. What I will say is, not worth $9,500 in DraftKings. He doesn't put up those kind of points. He'll just methodically win this fight.
Yeah, DraftKings would be a fucking disaster this week. People already start talking about it, but I mean, the top like 4 top probably 5 salary people, you look at them like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, like the salary in DraftKings is a representation of how the likelihood of that person winning, not the points they're going to score. Javid is very likely to win this fight, but he's not going to score $9,500 well. But you're going to need a lot of favorites.
I think he would get finished. I think in my mind he could get finished.
You think he's going to finish the hobby? But the 30 people think that he's going to get smoked.
If he gets the grappling and gets the bag, he can finish him.
I don't know what that is. He went from opening cards to talking like Kermit the Frog. But if you do want to check out his bets, which have been sharp this year, you can do that at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month. And you're not just going to get some bets. This isn't a Patreon with a list of bets. It's not a Discord either. The Discord is a perk. The Discord isn't premium. Premium is a full-blown interactive website with tools, insight, information, and more. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. We do have a couple more super chats. $1.99 from Ika. You think the Steve Erceg fight goes over 1 round? Well, we'll get there. I do, but we'll break down that fight in a few minutes. Thank you very much for the $1.99.
Thank you very much for the $1.99.
VHS quality, here we go. Zahabi is the best underdog you can have in your DK lineups. I mean, he either scores
he's gonna score
no points or all of them. Yeah.
He's going to score 12 points or 100, so
yeah. So, I mean, maybe throw a little bit of him in a tournament. Yeah, in a tournament play.
A little bit.
It's not no, okay, here's a poll. Do you all think it's tournament or
type
tournament?
Type 1 for tournament and type 2 for tournament.
It's TOUR. If you go on a vacation and somebody shows you around, that's a tour guide, not a tour guide. Tour.
Yeah, we'll let them decide.
There's a lot of fucking. This is the ones in the chat. I would love, but give a number and then say where you're from. I'd love to see that tournament, tour guide.
Not looking good for you.
Okay. I'm F-Dub. I'll be your tour guide for this.
Sorry, F-Dub. I wouldn't treat you like that.
Hey, I'm Eric Alvarez. I'll be your tour guide for the rest of the day.
Sorry, Eric.
Get out of here. Tour.
Sorry,
What a
Eric.
joke. Texas makes sense with the tour. Arizona makes sense with the tour. This guy's a fucking downright liar. Let's go ahead. Move on. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have another last-minute switcheroo. We got Ludovit Klein taking on short notice step-up AJ Cunningham. It's not quite as dramatic as the other short notice fight, but this is a couple of days. We got Ludovit Klein, 20-4 overall. He was already on this card. He is 3-1-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that upset win over Ignacio Bahamondes. He's taking on AJ Cunningham, 11-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is making his official UFC debut after a Contender Series loss last summer. Ludovit Klein, as we all know, a very technical striker. He's smooth, he's fast, he's accurate. He does a really good job keeping fights at that technical range and then hiding kicks behind his jab. He never throws anything lazy, never gets out of position. He's got a solid 83% takedown defense, and he will look to offensively wrestle if he is losing striking exchanges. He's coming off that underdog win over Ignacio Bahamondes, where he landed the cleaner strikes and then out-wrestled him with 3 takedowns. Taking on AJ Cunningham. This guy is stepping up on short notice. This is his second crack at the UFC. And before I break down AJ Cunningham, don't leave this video, but when we're done with this video, go watch. There's a video on YouTube with his backstory. This dude's backstory is wild. Like, he had a horrific life until his adopted parents were able to give him a decent one. He overcame more stuff before he was 12 than most people do their entire life. It's crazy. Style-wise, he's a long, powerful striker. Here we go.
Pretty rough
Cleft lip. You look like a cleft lip. You had gut problems, right? Didn't you get an unreasonable amount of enemas? Well, you brought up your childhood. Style-wise, AJ is a long, powerful striker who does get hit, but he doesn't stop coming forward. He doesn't have the cleanest technique, but he is powerful. He will work in everything from head kicks to spinning back fists. He is a country boy wrestler as well, with big takedowns, slams, and lots of activity. After watching AJ's backstory, it is going to be impossible not to root for him. Unfortunately, though, the rooting, the fanfare isn't going to be enough to get him this win. This is a really tough matchup. Ludovit's going to be better literally everywhere. He's deserving of the minus 800 price tag. Hopefully, AJ's next matchup
about that, huh?
is going to be a little more favorable.
You felt good
about because you made it sound like, honestly, he has had an exorbitant amount of enemas in his life. Like, that's not even me being a dick. Can you just tell that truth, please?
Have you ever had an enema?
No.
Change your fucking life.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Change your life. I tell you that. You get that pressure going up. Woo, woo.
Well, and I just watched our live view count go from 410.
You brought it up. I didn't even bring it up. You brought it up
Your
twice.
troubled childhood. Enemas sounds like a very troubled childhood. So go ahead.
It's a clean one.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, sure is.
So I will preface this by saying Ludovit Klein has a very, very special place in my heart, because he is technically the greatest lock of the week of all time versus Mason Jones, plus 375. So he definitely is near and dear to my heart. And obviously I like him in this matchup. It should be a striking matchup. Ludovit Klein is going to be the better striker. AJ Cunningham is a tough son of a bitch, man. He is a tough dude, but he is tough. What do we say about people when they're tough, Angelo? It's because we've seen him get hit. We've seen him get beat up. And that dude is that old school brawling style, right? He is gladly going to get in a phone booth with you and just match chin for chin, power for power, and see what happens. And he will eat shots in the process. So Ludovit Klein's got to be on his P's and Q's. Don't brawl with this guy. Wait for your shot to find itself, right? We talk about that a lot. You know, you don't have to force knockouts. If you just wait and you be patient, I promise you there will be a knockout shot that presents itself. I think the way AJ is coming in somewhat short notice in the apex, I think he brings the pressure. I think it brings the pace. I think he's going to be the aggressor in this matchup, and I think that's going to be his downfall. Ludovit Klein is just so technical in his striking, and it gets too crazy. AJ be with the pressure. Ludovit Klein can level change, mix in some wrestling as well. So I like Ludovit Klein here. I think it's going to be a finish and probably early. I think AJ's going to go out on his shield, come in with the pressure and see what happens, and Ludovic's probably going to put him away. So Ludovic, hasn't finished a lot of fights, especially recently, but this is a very good opportunity for him to make a name for himself, get that highlight finish, and then find another fight. He's quietly kind of becoming one of these guys, Ludovic.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ludovic's very, very good. Good
He's
technical guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, beating Ignacio Bahamondes, I think that was a safety parlay as well that broke. And in fairness to me, the safety parlay hits at 73%. So, okay, let's relax. But I think Bahamondes, if he wasn't in it, it was a different parlay that Bahamondes was in, and Ludovit broke there. And a lot of people thought, well, Bahamondes has phenomenal takedown defense, and he's a good striker, and he's got crazy submissions, and none of that mattered. Ludovit Klein came in here, did what he does. Technical striking, worked in the takedowns, looked absolutely fantastic. AJ stepping up on short notice is a problem, but even without short notice, this is a problematic matchup. Minus 800. I mean, if you have the choice between Ludovit Klein at minus 800 and Javid Basharat at minus 800, Ludovit is the better, not the better fighter. Yeah, not the better fighter, but yeah, the minus 800. I'm more confident in Ludovit's minus 800 than Javid's because of the opponent and the short notice, essentially. But
I think it's Javid.
The Javid Center in New York City. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. We don't have DraftKings pricing just yet for this fight, but if you do play some DraftKings Fantasy and you want access to the best ownership projections in the game, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You will unlock that and everything else instantly. We just had a $24,000 DraftKings ticket 2 weeks ago. We had a first place in the $120,000 tournament this past weekend at UFC Mexico. It's not a coincidence that our premium members have put up almost $500,000 in DraftKings winnings. Unlock all those tools, the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have the featured prelim of the evening. At least I think it is. We have Eryk Anders taking on Jamie Pickett. Just the other day, this was on the main card, and they've made some shuffles. It is now down to the featured prelim. It should be a very exciting fight. While their recent records are not exciting, this fight should actually be pretty good. Because Eryk Anders brings fights to people. He doesn't just take his time. He's 15-8 overall. He's 2-3 in his last 5, unfortunately. He is coming off the decision loss to Marc-Andre Barrot. He's taking on Jamie Pickett, 13-10 overall, 1-4 in his last 5. He is riding a 4-fight skid. Inside that skid, though, is a loss to Bo Nickel, which he took on, well, it was short notice, then it was canceled, then it was not short notice. But he took that fight when nobody else wanted to, so the UFC knows that
he didn't. Apparently, he didn't even know who the fuck Bo Nickel was. That's the
when he took it. Yeah,
he literally was like, "Yeah, I didn't know." He was like, "Whoops." I think even he was like, "Whoopsie."
Yeah. So he took that fight, and the UFC has kept him around a little bit. Eryk Anders is an athlete. That's the best way to describe his fighting style. He's a big guy. He's insanely athletic. He has played multiple sports at a very high collegiate level. He is fast. He is strong. He is powerful, and he's athletic. All of those things show. He'll mix his punches together with his kicks really well. He's got good hand speed. He does keep his hands a little too low. That gets him into trouble every now and then. He's never the more technical fighter in the cage, but he is usually the faster, more powerful, tough, grittier guy. And he can use all of those tools to grind out wins and just hurt you. Everything he does looks like it hurts. I mentioned he's coming off that loss to Marc-Andre Barrot. He's taking on Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett actually is a solid striker. He's a decent fighter despite the 1-4 in his last 5. Despite the 4-fight losing streak, he's a pretty good fighter. Solid striker. He uses length pretty well to manage range. He'll keep people at bay. If you look at the stats, he is hit more than he hits other people. That's never great. But that's because he takes his time. He's a gunshot. He doesn't let his hands go. When he does let his hands go, his striking's solid. But he'll sit, he'll wait, he'll take a little too long. He does have a 69% takedown defense. He will work in the occasional
nice
offensive takedown. As well, he is coming off that decision loss to John Freem, where he did work in the takedown, but he was hit just a little too much. Neither one of these guys are particularly amazing at any one thing, but they are both well-rounded enough. They're experienced enough to hang. I think the biggest gap here is just general athleticism, and that's going to go with Eryk Anders. I think Eryk Anders should win this fight. He's a big, strong guy. He's going to hit harder. He's going to come forward. He's going to be busier. I got to go with Anders here, but minus 450 seems crazy. It seems crazy. Like, these odds are getting out of control on this card. I don't know why this card, but the odds are out of control on this card. Eryk Anders should win this fight, but 450, man. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think it's that stat that you gave is why people are chasing favorites so much. I mean, what did you say? Like 20 of the last 24 favorites won in the last 2 weeks or something. So I think people are just jumping on that train. See, and if there's a week to jump on it, it does seem like it is this week for the favorites. But I agree. I mean, this seems a little bit crazy. If you're playing Anders at minus 450, I say it on my quick pick videos. God bless you for it. Good luck. I get it. He should win this fight. Right? Because as we've seen in the last kind of few fights, he is I don't want to say the actual fighter, because Jamie's obviously a fighter as well, but he is the guy, like you said, is going to be moving forward. He is going to be active. We just haven't seen that from Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett is a much better fighter than he fights. And that sounds stupid, but I compared it as well to Tyrone Woodley, right? And obviously I'm not comparing Pickett and Woodley, but Woodley got to a point in his career where it was like, dude, just do something. You got to do something, man. You just got to fucking do something. Like, show something in there. And Jamie Pickett, when you watch him fight, you feel that. You're like, Jamie, you got to, if you have money on whatever, you got to do something. And what do we see from Tyrone Woodley after all those losses? He came in against, what was it, Vicente Luque, and he almost fucking won that fight because he was just like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And he almost fucking did it. And there might be a point where Jamie Pickett just a switch flips, and he just goes for it. And if he goes for it, I think talent-wise, as far as fighters, these guys are pretty even. So it kind of determines what Jamie Pickett shows up. We haven't seen him flip that switch, so obviously you can't trust that. But I can't trust Eryk Anders either at minus 450 because if Jamie Pickett all of a sudden just shows up, he's more than capable of winning this fight talent-wise. So I'm staying away from it, but Eryk Anders is going to be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I actually do have Eryk Anders in a little bit of a parlay. That's been up for premium members for a few days now. The odds were different then. I do think Anders wins. I just think the athleticism, the size, the power, the sheer, all of that. What is that face? I think all of that should get this done.
Oh, my God. You need a cigarette or something. Just to kind of relax. Have you ever had a cigarette?
No,
shit.
I haven't.
Oh,
Jacob is very pro cigarette. It's an
odd
choice.
At some point in your life, I would recommend having 4 beers, going out onto your balcony at night with a pack of cigarettes, lighting up a menthol, and just seeing how you feel, looking at the stars. Because your arms are going to go numb, your legs are going to go numb, and you're just going to sink into your chair and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. But be careful. They're addicting. And I've never been a smoker. I've literally never bought, I think I've bought a pack of cigarettes, but I was, especially back when you could smoke inside a bar still and stuff. I mean, you could drink and you smoke a cigarette. That's what you did at 21 years old, so.
I mean, are you paid by Philip Morris? Like, you're pro cigarette rants?
Somebody said Camel Crush. Have you ever smoked you never smoked any of that. Camel Crush was the fucking shit. You smoke it halfway, and then there's a little bubble thing that you crush, and then it turns into a menthol. So you can smoke half of it and then turn it into a menthol at the end. It's fucking really good. There's somebody listening right now that's like trying to quit cigarettes, and they're like, "Fuck, I'm getting a fucking." And I do apologize for that.
Yeah, no, it'll absolutely kill you. Anyway, DraftKings wise, Eryk Anders,
grandfather,
and no, both my grandfathers. I don't have any grandfathers left.
I don't have any grandparents left. I have no grandparents left.
I got one 91-year-old grandmother that's like, rah, 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 no English, all yelling all the time, always. Anyway, Eryk Anders, $9,300 in DraftKings. I don't think he's worth it. Jamie Pickett's a durable guy. He's not just. I don't.
He almost beat Bo Nickel.
I don't know if Eryk Anders is going to get Jamie Pickett out of there. And he may be worth the $9,300 if he works in a whole bunch of takedowns, and that's the type of fight that we're in here. But $9,300 is a lot, but I feel like I'm going to say that quite a bit here. What is so funny?
Somebody said, I fucking love Camels, Jacob. I've been chain smoking this whole stream.
Yeah, that guy's house must smell fantastic. That's I grew up in it. My mother's an immigrant, so she's been smoking or did smoke. She quit 13 years ago. She had been smoking she was like 10, like her whole life, and then came to America, smoked, had some kids. Immigrants start early.
I mean, my grandfather started at 16, but that's because he was in the Korean War, baby, serving our country.
Anyway, she would smoke. She would smoke at the dinner table, like just ashing, like while we're eating dinner. Would smoke in the car, dropping us off to school.
My grandfather smoked Camel non-filters, and he had a little Ford Fiesta. And when we went to play golf or we went anywhere, if it was fucking raining, guess what? Those windows are not getting rolled down, and he chain smoked fucking Camel non-filters. The whole car just, and I used to love to try and inhale it to see if I could blow it out as a fucking like 8-year-old kid. Said, with secondhand smoke. I'm fucked.
No, it's crazy. I mean, because as an adult now, who I never smoked, and
it's so stupid.
You don't come across, you don't come across. You don't come across a ton of smokers nowadays, and but every now and then somebody will cruise by in the grocery store. You're like, holy shit,
it's
like, that
awful
dude
now,
fucking
it literally gives me an
reeks.
instant headache. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just couldn't imagine what I smelled like in elementary school. And man, I must have fucking reeked. Just reeked of cigarettes.
Cigarettes and piss.
I mean, well, not the piss, but certainly the cigarettes.
You used to always you told me that you had some issues.
Yeah, the kid who got all the enemas is the one talking about issues right now.
Oh, that's not peeing. I peed just fine. My prostate. You should feel my prostate. That thing is
okay. Guys, I would like if you became a premium member so I can get out of this hellhole and not have to talk about please. Jacob's prostate.
$10 a month, man. We could stop this whole charade.
Yeah, no more prostate talk. Just move on. WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member at the top. It's only $10 a month. But what is funny is, so Fight Night Picks, they're done. They retired. Maybe they'll come back. And I had a little bit of a conversation with him a few months ago, and he's like, we might do some different comment. I just need a break. So I'm sure some of our influx of viewers are from them. They used to watch their show. Now they watch this. Think about if you're a Fight Night Picks viewer.
Sorry.
You had two dudes who were like very professional, did all the research.
Such
like those
nice
guys were great. Those guys were great.
So wholesome too.
Yeah, I don't think they cursed. Like they were the Family Matters of like sitcom. And then you show up and Jacob's talking about milking his own prostate and getting enemas. It's wild. I mean, what a jump that must be. What a jump. Absolute joke.
Oh,
you know it's not a joke, though. You know it's not a joke. I'll send you 50. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click become a member at the top. It's only, nope, wrong promo. No, I'm just kidding. I will give you $50, though. All you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bet. Sign up with any one of our partners. Make a deposit. We send you $50. It's affiliate marketing. They're going to pay us. I'm going to slice off some of that money. I'll give it right back to you. You just need to use the link, sign up, make a deposit, and then there's a big old button on our website that says claim $50. Click that, fill it out. We'll verify your deposit, and we will get you paid. You can then use that money to become a premium member. Just shut up. Today was payday, too. You always get like, you would think on payday, you'd be like, yeah, push premium. Yeah. Go ahead. We've had like 400 and something signups in the last 3 weeks. It's crazy. Or 2 weeks.
It needs to be 4,000 people.
We're almost at 4,000 total. Anyway, you can unlock the safety parlay with the premium membership. I've hit 9 of the last 10. I've never had a losing rolling 30 days with the safety parlay. It hits at 72% event win rate. It has a lifetime return on investment of 30%. And it continues to be the most stable bet in the history of this space. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Welcome to the main card.
Ooh.
Opening up the main card of UFC Vegas 87, we have Matt Danger Cage Schnell taking on Steve Erceg. I don't know why I like that nickname. I don't even know Danger Caged. Like, wouldn't it be Caged Danger? You know what I mean? It confuses me. Like, So is he Danger that's in a cage? That makes sense. He fights in a cage, but then you would just be like Matt Caged Danger Schnell, not Danger Caged Schnell.
I don't know. I hate when you go off on these fucking stupid fucking tangents and just destroy the shit out of the stream.
Let's open up some fucking cards. We got Matt Schnell taking on Steve Erceg. Matt Schnell, 16-7 overall,
His nickname's
2-2.
just Danger.
What's his Instagram handle? Turd Burger.
He's Matt Danger Schnell.
What's
What
the
are you on
Instagram
about?
handle?
Why are you always just
What's
yapping about
the
just
That's what I
shit?
thought. I mean, that's what I thought. Matt Danger Cage Schnell is 16-7 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5 years, coming off that KO loss to Mateusz Nicolau. He's taking on everybody's favorite pizza boy, Steve Erceg. 11-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5 years on a 10-fight win streak. Matt Danger Cage Schnell is a tough-as-nails striker. He's got solid BJJ. He does prefer to counter-strike, and he does a great job.
Let it
It's not gonna
focus,
focus.
please. Oh.
Daddy Danger.
Hashtag Daddy Danger. Matt Schnell, you're nasty.
Dude,
You're a freak, dude.
Daddy
Danger.
All right. Anyway, he does have, despite being Danger's father, Matt Schnell is a tough as nails guy. Solid striker, solid BJJ. He prefers to counter strike. He does a really good job of getting you to follow him so he can plant his feet and fire back with combinations. He does not shoot takedowns very often. He averages fewer than one per fight, but his BJJ is slick and he does snatch things up and scrambles very well. But while he can be slick on the ground, he does struggle to get it there with a low 44% takedown accuracy. He is coming off that second round knockout loss to Mateusz Nicolau. He was dropped twice and taken down. He's taking on Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg is a slick grappler. He likes to attack. He's very quick on the ground. He snatches things up in scrambles. His striking is not great, but he does have good calf kicks, and he has picked up the volume recently. He's got a very wide stance, limited head movement, so he does get hit. He does have a nice jab, though, and he will pump that out while moving forward. His striking's not going to turn any heads. It's not going to get you very excited, but his grappling might. He moves fluidly. He seizes the opportunities. He's coming off the decision win over Alessandro Costa, where he went an embarrassing 1-for-8 in takedowns, but he did have success striking. Matt Schnell's crazy tough. He is the father of danger. Literally has risen from the dead. We watched him die in the octagon. His soul left his body, and then it came back in, and he rose up and then won that fight.
Which did it come into?
I saw a TikTok with a dog barking, and it just said, I don't know which end is barking. And it was the dog facing the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
Its
Like a
butthole
little
was
pug or
why?
something, yeah.
Every time it barked, the butthole was like, "Rrr, rrr." Like it was crazy.
Pugs are the worst.
They are the worst. I 100% agree with that
I
statement. Anyway,
had lived with two of them.
they're just like, they're not like, they're man-made dogs. Yeah, that's why they're so messed up. Like they would
Literally
never have
24/7.
survived in the wild. Yeah. At least like my dog's a man-made dog, but at least it's like a combination of two real dogs, a poodle and
What a good dog.
Labrador, two healthy dogs. Anyway, Matt Schnell, we have seen how tough he is. We have seen him rise from the dead in the octagon. And while he is gritty, and while that grit does help him win fights like that, I don't think it's going to help here because Steve isn't that guy. He isn't the guy that's going to chase a finish on his feet and then gas himself out and almost have you done. That's my dog and Jacob's dog, just enjoying the day. There was a better picture than that.
Look how big my fucking dog is compared to your little pussy dog.
We hear your dog
That
eat
little
3
rat.
times on every
That
stream.
little rat.
Every time on every stream, we hear your dog eat 3 fucking times. I wonder why she's enormous. Making fun of little Joey. Matt Schnell, very durable. I don't think it's going to matter here. I do think Steve Erceg is going to get it done. I think he's zeroing in on a solid jab. Will eventually get this to the ground. I think he will get it done. Steve Erceg doesn't look the part of a professional fighter, but I do think he's going to win this fight. Erceg is the pick. What do you think, Jacob?
Oh, you tried to think of something clever to say, but you couldn't think of anything clever to say. So
No,
you
I
just
didn't
had
want
say
to. I didn't
name.
want to say anything clever. You're not deserving after making fun of my adorable dog.
Oh, big JoJo. I do like it. It's a good dog.
He is. A good dog.
It was cool how they immediately bonded, got along. So we might have
Joey's
a little bit
so
of a
weird because he does
boyfriend-girlfriend
love.
situation.
Like, so you came over to let my dog out. Appreciate that. You brought your dog. They all played, ran around, chased each other.
I kept looking for the envelope with money, but I guess I did that for free.
You didn't.
I guess I was like, I thought he was going to put some money somewhere, at least for the gas or something, but apparently that was just a favor.
It was a favor. That is exactly what it was. But then we walked, like we went on a family walk today, and my youngest is like, "Can I hold the leash?" And I'm like, "Joey's not good on the. You can't hold his leash. He's not good on the leash. He's just going to take off." And then she just kept asking, and so I was like, "Fine." And then there was like a giant German Shepherd across the street, and he fucking took off, and the leash flew out of her hand, and she's crying. And thank God I am skinny fit Ange. I took off and I stepped on the leash, and he came back and saved the day.
Nice.
Who do you think wins this fight?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Steve Erceg in this matchup. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he looks like Ryan Hall," and honestly, it does kind of get me going a little bit. But he should be the better fighter in this matchup. I think he's the more technical striking. And you mentioned his striking isn't anything special, but it almost kind of lulls you to sleep because it is just kind of just ones and twos, but it's nice and tight and it's nice and technical. And like I said earlier in another breakdown, sometimes if you don't look for the knockouts will find themselves with the way you strike, and he has just such precise striking. I think that he has an opportunity to hurt Matt Schnell in this match. To knock him out completely, I don't think so, but it's going to be enough to hurt him, to get in scrambles, and that's where Steve Erceg, as you said, really shines. He really is kind of a grappler, and unfortunately for Matt Schnell, what he does best is probably in those scrambles. He's almost like a Brandon Royval, to where, yeah, he might get hurt a little bit, but once you start scrambling with him, he's going to be live to find stuff. I think Steve Erceg is going to be the bigger guy in here and is going to be able to withstand those weird scrambles. So outside of like something crazy happening in the grappling, I think Steve's a better striker, can hold his own in the grappling, and maybe even win some offensive scrambling as well. So I'm pretty high on Steve in this matchup. He's also shown that although he kind of looks like a pussy, the dude's not a pussy, right? He can take shots. He can be a nail. He can win decisions. He can out-tough people. He's a tough dude that's going to be moving forward. And outside of a Hail Mary submission, I don't see where Matt Schnell wins. So I'm pretty high on Steve this week. Minus 310. I think it should be minus 400. I think he should be one of those guys that's pushed to minus 500, honestly. I mean, he's good.
Listen, I'm with you. And good for Steve Erceg. I mean, it's about time like a handsome dude loses a fight to a normal looking dude. It's about time something like that happens. So
are you saying that Steve's not a good looking dude?
Not as good. You know, Steve looks like if he went to a restaurant and the waitress was nice to him, that he would think she was flirting and then ask her out on a date. That's what Steve Erceg looks like. He looks like that guy. The guy that doesn't realize waitresses make tips and you shouldn't ask them out.
And people say that about strippers too. Like, obviously strippers are just nice to you to get their money and stuff. But I've sat at a strip club eating pizza with strippers just hanging out. I'm that type of guy. You know, I'm that type of guy that they're like, oh, this guy's awesome.
Sure.
He's hella cool. I want to sit down and eat some pizza with him. So I've been that guy before, but definitely not the waitress guy.
I mean, it just like
maybe at Hooters when I was like at 16 or 17, you know, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, can I get the chicken breast? I remember the first time I went to Hooters, I think I was 16 and I went with my friends. Like, obviously when you get your driver's license, you just, let's go to Hooters, you know? And I remember being 16 years old being like, I just couldn't. Like that giggly energy.
Yeah, 100%. And that was that whole Office episode. But I just couldn't. You hit a certain age where you just should know how the world works. And people who make tips are not your friend. And they're not interested.
I was a waiter, and I mean, the amount of girls that thought that I was in love with them was every mom, every grandma. You know, I'm putting the charm on. I flash this smile, and they're like, oh my God, I think he wants to fuck me.
Yeah.
And half the time it's true. 90% of the time it's true, honestly.
I'm sure that side is. Unfortunately, on the other side, that's not true. When a waitress in whatever the hell town you live in puts down your iced tea and says, "Here you go, hun," she doesn't really mean to. She doesn't really mean to call you hun. She doesn't. She's not calling you hun. That's the kind of porn
I watch.
She's not interested. She's not interested. Save yourself the embarrassment. She's not interested. But what I am interested in is this Steve
becoming a
Erceg money
premium.
line. Yeah. What is this Steve Erceg money line? I do have Erceg in a parlay. The other half was, we just broke him down.
Oh, yeah.
Eryk Anders. Eryk spelled weird, Anders. Anders and Erceg. I threw them in a parlay together. That's my risky favorites parlay. Anders can lose that fight, and I think Erceg can lose this fight. What's funny is you're way more confident in Erceg than Anders, and Erceg is far more affordable, odds-wise. And I know you said that he should be a bigger favorite, but yeah. So anyway.
Right, that's why I bet Erceg. I didn't bet Anders. Very good, Angelo.
Yeah. See? $9,200 in DraftKings makes sense. You think he can finish Schnell? Probably catch him in a submission. He's not going to TKO him.
I mean, maybe a heel hook. Maybe an Imanari roll into a heel hook. We might be seeing one of those.
I mean, he does lead. Looks like those would be the moves that he's trying.
Back
for
to
sure.
back to back weeks, right? We had Claudio Puelles last week, and then who was it? It was it was fucking Ryan Hall's buddy, 2
Carlos
weeks ago.
Vera.
Yeah, and here we go again. Man, it's been a fun. Whew. No wonder Loik's been losing. Been a little distracted. I've been a little distracted.
Oh, the leg lock, guys. Anyway, if you want to unlock all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more, WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have the return of Umar Nurmagomedov. The return of a highly touted prospect that people are talking about could be champion.
Why is it $3,500?
It might as well be.
Yeah,
Might as well.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess that's. I mean, it should be a 6.
Yeah,
oh well, might as well be. But the return of a gentleman that everybody has said, or the UFC has said, nobody wants to fight Umar. Nobody wants to fight this guy. Well, they finally got somebody to fight, and they got Bekzat Al-Makhan. And Umar Nurmagomedov, as we all know, is undefeated in his career. He has 9 stoppages. He is taking on Bekzat Al-Makhan in his UFC debut. 17-1 overall. 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 9-fight win streak with 8 stoppages. Umar is exactly who you would think he is, looking at that last name. Phenomenal wrestler. In 4 fights in the UFC, he's got 9 takedowns, 15 minutes of control time, 2 submissions, and now he finally has a standing knockout. But even with that knockout, I would say his striking is just okay. But his wrestling is absolutely fantastic. His kicks are fantastic as well. He'll stay out of range with those kicks, and then when people come charging in, he'll use the wrestling. He'll look for takedowns. If he misses his first shot, it doesn't matter. There's a second, third, fourth right behind it. He is coming off that knockout win over Hani Barcelos, where he didn't even need to or attempt to wrestle. And we just saw what a dog Barcelos can be.
I hate that name.
He's taking on
Cheating bitch.
Bekzat Al-Makhan. This guy's actually very, very good. He's a very good fighter. He's got tight, dangerous striking, excellent offensive wrestling. He is smooth on his feet. He fires away when he's inside the pocket. He's very comfortable in a kickboxing match, and then he'll transition to body locks and singles to get it to the ground. He does lack control on the ground, but he has no shortage of cardio, so he can just restart those exchanges. He is very dangerous with 13 knockouts, but many of them are on the ground. So don't look at all the knockouts and think this guy's a pure striker. When this fight was first booked, everybody threw a temper tantrum and like, this is ridiculous. How could Umar... He was supposed to fight Corey Sandhagen in like a main event, and now he's fighting some bum nobody's ever heard of. But then you do a little bit of research. You watch just a little bit of tape, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's good. Like, this guy's actually a good fighter who, if he wasn't fighting Umar, would be a good-sized favorite in this matchup. And while I do think Bekzat Al-Makhan is good, I just think Umar's that much better. I think the wrestling gap is far too wide. I think Bekzat may be the better striker in this matchup. But the wrestling gap is going to be a little bit too wide here. Umar's going to be the pick. It's an obvious pick, minus 1,300. I'm almost glad these odds are as absurd as they are, because this will just make sure that I don't accidentally throw them in a parlay or anything like that. So the odds are far too gone to do anything with. And I don't even think inside the distance or a round line or anything like that would work, because Umar's been to plenty of decisions, and Bekzat, I think, is tough enough to survive here. So anyway, Umar's the obvious pick, but I'm doing absolutely nothing with that information. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I mean, you broke it down pretty much as much as you can break it down. I mean, Bekzat it's gonna be rough for me on this one. Even in my quick picks, I think I had to redo it like 6 or 7 times because Bekzat he is a good fighter, and honestly, and we kind of got shit about this for the Hani fight with the Umar because we were pretty high on at least Hani's striking abilities versus Umar, and I think we said it's basically a 50-50 on the feet, and maybe even that Hani was the better striker. Then sure enough, Umar fucking TKOs him. But I will say in this fight, I don't know if it's 50-50, but Bekzat, he's a good striker, man. And he's got...
You have said his name 3 different ways, 3 times. Sorry, go ahead.
I sit here, Angelo, and every week I just fucking do my best. I just do my fucking
Yeah,
best.
I shouldn't hear here we fucking go. I shouldn't.
You know, I just don't know what more you can ask from me at this point because
he's fake crying.
I just do my best, and I didn't have the best education. It was Indiana. It was
that is true.
It was public school. I'm not gonna trash Indiana, but Bekzat, he is a dangerous striker. What makes him dangerous, especially in this UFC debut, is he doesn't have power with looping power. Anybody almost, I know at 135 it's a little bit harder, but anybody can have power and they're just throwing these big bombs on the regional scene and they're throwing these overhand rights or these overhand lefts and they're landing on these regional fighters and they're getting knockouts. This dude Bekzat is straight line power. I mean, it is sneaky power the way that he has power behind these hands. And it is 1-2 type of power. And that will be dangerous to a guy like Umar who can get a little bit flashy with the kicks. And if you fucking telegraph a kick and this dude's coming in with a straight right hand, he can hurt a guy like Umar. And I do believe there's going to be a moment in this fight where people are going to that have Umar and everything are going to go oh no. But Umar should be able to survive, and I believe that he is going to be a Nurmagomedov in this fight. I think he goes to the wrestling very, very early. He doesn't mess around on the feet against a dangerous striker like Bekzat. He's got good enough level changes in wrestling. And what it comes down to me, I think he's just going to be too strong. I think he's going to be just too strong and too physical for Bekzat. He's going to get the takedowns. He's going to get the control. I agree. I think this definitely could go to a decision with Umar. But if he starts messing around on the feet, things could get fucked up pretty quickly. But I like this dude Bekzat. Obviously, they're going to give him a very favorable matchup for taking this fight for his next fight. He should be a fun guy for the division. But this is probably an Umar play.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100% agree with you. And I said I was being sincere when I said I'm almost glad that Umar is as disgusting of a favorite as he is. Because if he was minus 600, all right, let me throw him in some stuff. And while I do think he wins this fight, I'm just glad that I'm not even tempted. What are you going to do with minus 1,300? There's no value there. There's nothing to do. Just leave it alone because Bekzat is very good. Very good. He has more wins than Umar. He's got more finishes than Umar. He's a very good striker. Like, it would probably be one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen, but it's not. The odds shouldn't be what they are right here. I think people just saw it's somebody that's never been in the UFC before. It's Umar. Boom. Let's bet the absolute shit out of it. But he is good. But to your point, he's going to have to wait for his next fight to get a win. DraftKings-wise, though, $3,500. I mean, what that frees up in your lineup is astonishing.
I think you can put 8 people in your lineup.
Yeah, no, that's some great money there. But Umar's probably worth the 9,700, as crazy as it sounds, because if it is wrestle heavy and he gets a whole bunch of takedowns, he could cruise past 100 points.
And Bekzat's not a guy that's going to be a fucking pussy either. He's not going to get taken down and pull guard and then it's just going to
he'll pop up.
This could be what we in the wrestling world call a lot of mat returns. This could be a lot of getting up, boom, back down, getting up, back down. And Umar could sneakily get like fucking 10 takedowns in this fight. And I really agree. I believe that.
Yeah, no, I very rarely is somebody at this price point worth the money, but Umar can be because of the upside with the wrestling, and DraftKings favors the wrestling. WeWantPicks.com, click become a member at the top. You can unlock all the bets that we have, not on this fight, for only $10 an entire month. And you know for a fact, we've got 4 events coming up, so you'll get every single one of those events included.
Oh, and one of those events, the 4th event. If you sign up right now, listen to this right now, like the stream. If you sign up right now for $10 a month for premium, for me, do it for me. The very last week that you'll have your premium is the Amanda Hebos and Rose Namajunas fight, and I will be there, and we're going to vlog it, and it is going to be one of the greatest cards of all time. So for premium today, the fourth card is going to be the Manny Hibas card, and we're going to load up and all become fucking billionaires.
I'm rooting for you, Jakey boy. We do have a couple of super chats. $5 from VHS Quality. He said, Jacob, what that on your whiteboard? Don't tell me your lock of the week is MF Rozenstruik. Why would that be Rozenstruik? And he also said another 5. He said, Matt Schnell is my dog. He will submit Ryan Hall, Dumbledore-looking ass. This was when we were breaking down that fight. I missed that. Thank you very much for the super chats, VHS. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have the featured fight of the evening. We have Alex Perez taking on Muhammad Mokaev. Alex Perez, 24-7 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight skid after an 18-month layoff. He's taking on undefeated Muhammad Mokaev. He is 10-0 in his career, coming off that late finish over Tim Elliott. This is a fight that when I broke it down a few days ago, the odds were minus 240. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. How is he only minus 240? He should be a much bigger favorite than this. And the line has moved. He's now minus 355. I made these graphics earlier today. It could be even farther than that, which makes sense. The movement makes sense. Sitting at minus 340 did not make sense. And it's not a slight to Alex Perez because Alex Perez is a very good striker. He's got great low kicks, solid wrestling. His low kicks are so devastating that he stopped Jussier Formiga in his last win. That win was 4 years ago, but he stopped that fight with leg kicks. He comes in with solid combinations, good finishes, and then he'll end those exchanges with leg kicks. He'll circle out. He averages 3 takedowns per fight, and he has an impressive 77% takedown defense, which he will lead every last bit of in this matchup, and he's coming off that loss to Alexandre Pantoja a year and a half ago. And then that fight was 2.5 years before his previous fight. Very, very inactive guy. He's taking on Muhammad Mokaev. We all know at this point he's an incredible wrestler. He has been competing his entire life. Very dominant with his takedowns. His control could use a little bit of work, but he has great grappling, improving striking. 5 fights in the UFC with 25 takedowns. He is coming off of the late submission win over Tim Elliott, which quite literally saved him from a bad decision. The judges had that fight 2-0 going into the third round for Elliott. That's not how normal people saw that fight, but that is how the judges saw that fight. And Muhammad Mokaev, yes, in the third round was losing that, quite literally going to lose that fight if he didn't get a finish. And he didn't know this. And he went out there and he got a finish. He finished Tim Elliott in the third round.
He had to have thought that he was winning that fight. So it's not like he felt like, I need to get this finish. He just ended up finding it, and thank God, because that place would have fucking rioted if he lost it to that decision.
It would have been such a bad decision. And frankly, I mean, the ref did screw Tim Elliott in that fight, I believe, right? He had a choke in there, and the ref separated him and didn't give him that position back or something like that.
I can't remember.
It was anyway.
It's been a long night already.
Point being, Muhammad Mokaev did not know he was going to get screwed, and he still, in the third round, was fighting his ass off looking for a finish and got one. We saw him against Joffo Filho. His knee was bent in the wrong direction, facing the wrong direction, and he survived, and he got a finish in that fight too. So Muhammad Mokaev, while there are some things to clean up, continues to go out there, take people down over and over again, and then win these fights many times by finish. He's a nasty wrestler. He showed us that he can be composed when he is in some trouble. He showed us that he doesn't stop. He showed us he's looking for finishes at all times. I'm very confident in Muhammad Mokaev. You should be confident in him as well. And I think even at minus 355, these odds aren't. We've talked about some of these odds being insane. What is Anders? Minus 455. And you can get Muhammad Mokaev at minus 355 against a guy who hasn't won a fight in 4 years, against a guy who doesn't have a single win over an active roster UFC fighter. Muhammad Mokaev is a pick. Who do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, let me start by talking about that Tim Elliott fight. And I put on my Twitter today, and I full-heartedly believe it, that I believe, and people want to, kind of almost want to trash him like, oh, Tim Elliott, whatever. I think that Tim Elliott beats Pantoja. I think if there's a guy that beats Pantoja, it is the awkward style with the wrestling and grappling of Tim Elliott. So I think he's a title contender, and he could end up being the champion one day. But I will say this. There was somebody in the Discord, Angelo knows who it is. I won't name him to give him that time of day because it's Angelo's worst. No, I almost said worst nightmare.
That slob. We're talking about the slob.
Yeah. So he said Makhachev has never won a fight dominantly. How can you bet a guy that's never won a fight dominantly? So I just want to rattle off some stats here. Obviously, he fought Cody Durden first round sub. That is maybe fluky, but that's pretty fucking dominant, right? I mean, you won it in like fucking 20 seconds. Then he fights Charles Johnson. 12 takedowns, 12 minutes of control, 12 of 15 minutes of control, 30-27 decision. That seems pretty dominant to me. And we've seen Charles Johnson, it's a pretty good takedown defense. He's chain wrestling. Malcolm Gordon, 6 for 7 takedowns, 10 minutes of control, had some issues, right? I mean, he got his back taken. Third round finish, right? So, 10 minutes of control, 2 rounds. I mean, he dominates that fight, gets the finish, gets out of a situation. Rafael, you mentioned, 4 takedowns, 8 minutes of control, a third round finish. Shows his toughness, which I want to bring up as well, because a lot of times with these undefeated guys, you don't know how they're going to react when they are the nail. And that's always the question mark. And we saw, like with Joe Pyfer and some other situations, sometimes people can't be nails. Makhachev can be a fucking nail. He doesn't give a fuck if he's losing positions, if he's almost getting subbed. He has shown how tough he can be. So Rafael, and then he fights Tim Elliott. He has 8 minutes of control and gets a third round finish as well. So this guy has been around. He's been finishing these guys that are good guys. Tim Elliott's a good guy. Malcolm Gordon's he's all right. I mean, Charles Johnson's a good guy. Cody Durden's a good guy, So, I like Makhachev in this matchup. I think if you're Alex Perez, you can't be in this division and be a guy in this division without being active. I mean, this division's already one of the best divisions. And it's kind of hard to believe they almost got rid of this division because it really is something. You have to be fucking good at everything. You have to be sharp at every single fight. Makhachev at 23 years old, he's only going to get better. That's the craziest part. Every time we see him, we're going to see a better Makhachev. And even if we don't see a better Makhachev, I think the Makhachev of the last few fights can beat an Alex Perez. And I don't want to be one of those tapology guys, but Alex Perez, 7 losses, 5 to submission. He is susceptible to getting subbed. I think Makhachev's going to be the better wrestler, the better grappler. That's all it comes down to. Makhachev's always going to win when he's the better wrestler and grappler, and I think he is in this matchup. I think he finds a finish against Alex.
Yeah, and obviously he's a favorite here, and decent-sized favorite. So it's not like
he was like minus 260 or something for a little bit, 270.
240. He was 240 when I filmed on Sunday. Yeah. And if you go back and watch my quick picks, I was like, he is minus 240, and you need to jump on that line because it is crazy that he's minus 240, and that's not a slight to Perez.
I think I got him in a parlay at minus 260 or something like that. So
no, it's I mean, Makhachev should absolutely win this fight. Dude, my mouse is just not going to work right now. There we go. Got it.
No.
I got it, guys. Woo! It didn't die. I don't know what. It's pretty old and beat up at this point. But I think Muhammad.
You ever kill a mouse with a shovel?
No. And my neighbor.
One time. Man, it fucking
felt pretty
broke
bad.
My heart.
Yeah.
In Indiana, I had there was a family of mice that lived in my garage that made its way into the home at one point. There was like a teeny tiny mouse, like a little baby one. So then I found him in my garage. So then I put traps out and stuff for him. But there was one time I went out and I saw a mouse run out of my garage, and I was like, all right, I'll just let him do what he needs to do. Just be free. See you later, buddy. And then he turned around and I was like, dude, I promise you don't want to do this, man. You don't want to do this. And he tried to come back in the garage, and I just had a fucking shovel, and I'm like, it's me or you at this point, buddy.
It wasn't you, though. You weren't going to die. Yeah.
You ever heard of fucking rabies, buddy?
Well, and
you can't come back from that.
You're not physically much different, so I get it. If you do want to unlock the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more, we do have some action on this fight. You can do that at WeWantPicks.com by clicking Become a Member at the top. $9,100 for Muhammad Makhachev seems like a good price. If I had to choose between him and who the hell did we just break down? Or Umar, I would go with Makhachev and get a little bit of a discount. I think it's just as dominant with the wrestling and everything else.
You know what's crazy? And I forgot to mention this on the Lion King breakdown. There was a Brave card, which Brave's another organization that the Lion King was on at like 19 or 20 years old. It was one of his split decision losses versus like a 10-1 Italian dude or whatever. But on that card that he fought on was Makhachev, Ikram, and the main event was Benoit Saint Denis. Isn't that crazy for a Brave card? Those fucking loaded names. Card. Yeah. And Gabriel Fly. What's his Gabriel? Miranda,
San-
Gabriel, whatever.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on that card too. So it was like imagine going to that card, not realizing who you're watching, then after the fact being like, holy shit.
Well, that's why regional MMA is so great. There's a regional show here in Frisco that we should start going to. We should reach out and say, hey, let the boys do some commentary.
When I see red, oof.
Yeah, no, you get
You're
so
lucky
angry.
I didn't see it that day.
Every morning.
Except for the blood.
Every morning I wake up and I'm just like, thank you, God, for sparing me from Jacob's wrath. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Vitor Petrino taking on Tyson Pedro. Vitor Petrino, another undefeated guy. People are loading up undefeated parlays. They're taking all the undefeated fighters, they're throwing them together in a parlay. And they all should win. This is one of the sketchier ones because Vitor Petrino, yes, he is undefeated. He has 8 career stoppages. He is fighting a tough Tyson Pedro, 10-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the knockout win over Anton Turkalj. Vitor Petrino can be a monster. He's got a wild left hook. He's a dangerous striker. He has turned into a bit of a grappler at times. He's got 12 takedowns in his last 3 fights. Takedown defense is just okay, but he does a nice job working his way back up to his feet if he is taken down. He was in a full triangle on the Contender Series, and he rampaged Jackson Ricardo Arona'd his way out of it. And if you get that reference, you're a true MMA fan. If you don't,
I do.
It's okay. Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Explain the reference.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, no, he did know it, guys. Jacob watched Pride back in the day. Anyway, Vitor Petrino is a problem for a lot of people, but he does need to clean some things up. He does need to button it up just a bit. He's coming off that second-round knockout win over Modestas Bukauskas, taking on Tyson Pedro. This guy's primarily a grappler. He seems to have found his power in his last couple of years. He doesn't have the best takedowns, but he has no problem charging forward to get one. If you overcommit to your strikes, he will drop to a double leg and run right through it. Once he hits the ground, he's looking to strike more than he is to submit, but if you scramble to try to work your way out, he'll snatch something up. He's coming off that TKO win over Anton Turkalj. I mistakenly said that punched Anton Turkalj's ticket out of the UFC. He's fighting at UFC Long Island. Crazy. Oh, hey, the Pleasure Man. Mr. Pleasure. Anton Turkalj. That's his nickname.
Can you do a little improv with that? Do like a little scene, set up a scene or whatever. Let's
Mr.
do like
Pleasure.
let's do like Bobby and what's his name? Let's do a little scene here.
Santino.
And you're the Italian Pleasure Man. Hey, boy. And lay some. I'm a girl at a bar. I'm a girl at a bar. And
you're my waitress, and I think you like me because you said sweetie when you gave me my sweet tea.
Hold on.
Okay.
Here you go. Ready?
Here we go.
Everything was everything okay for you here today?
Hey, excellent food. Thank you so much.
Here's the bill, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming in. And I wrote a little heart and a smiley face on the bill for you. So here you go.
Listen, sweetheart. You've been bringing my food. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Everything's been amazing. The energy I get from you is absolutely chef's kiss.
You're so welcome.
And I think you and I should go out for a drink sometime. You want to get a drink with me? I think we could have a good time.
I actually
What?
I know how to say. I actually am kind of seeing somebody.
I don't believe you. What's his name?
I can show you.
You sat here. You said, sweetheart. You said, honey. You said, come back. You're welcome. All the things. For what reason?
There you go.
All right. Let's break down the rest of this fight. Fucking God knows what we're talking about at this point. I think I broke the two of them down. And now I'm going to say why I think Vitor Petrino wins. And I'm going to say this could be a fraud check fight. Now, fraud check is a term that the young, cool people use to say, hey, that undefeated prospect was fraud checked. He lost. I'm using it in its truest form. This fight could be a fraud check. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying Vitor will lose. I actually think he wins. But this could be a fight where we find out, is he a fraud or is he not? I think we find out he's not. Because Tyson Pedro is tough. Tyson Pedro is probably, I don't think he's the better fighter, but he's definitely the more experienced and the more composed. Vitor gets a little crazy, makes some bad decisions. So I do think Tyson Pedro can get Vitor into some tough positions. We'll see Vitor work through them. We'll find out he is not a fraud. And for all of those reasons, Vitor is going to be my pick. But as you can see, this line is tightening. And of all the big favorites here, I think that tightening line does make a little bit of sense. What do you think, Jockey Bombalots?
What is the difference between, this is a serious question, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu? Do you have any idea?
The Japanese invented it, and the Brazilians are the ones that changed it up. But I don't know the difference.
Because Tyson Pedro is like known as being like a black belt, like everything. He's a black belt not only in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu but also Japanese Jiu-Jitsu as well. So if you know, let us know. Also a black belt in Kempo.
Ooh, Kempo karate, cool sidekick.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Chuck Liddell was also a black belt in Kempo, so we'll let it go.
Nice. So this Vitor is one of those guys that I'm not going to pick against him. I'm not going to bet against him until I see him look somewhat human. And in his last few fights, he doesn't really look human. I mean, this guy is built. This guy is jacked. I got a lot of flack, by the way, in my quick pick video for saying that I would love to oil up Vitor Petrino. Like that's some bad. That's like
as
that's
you
some,
should.
As like that's some bad thing. If Vitor Petrino just walks into your living room with a bottle of oil and says you can if you want to, you're just gonna tell him no. No, everybody's gonna grab the bottle of oil, lay him down, and fucking oil this dude up. He's a beautiful man. But the point I was trying to make is a lot of these big muscular dudes will have this big power and then they fade, right? How many times have we seen these big dudes start fading, their first round or bust or this and that, or if they try to change the game plan and you force the wrestling or the grappling, that's when they gas. This dude Vitor is built fucking different because he does not gas. He all of a sudden, I guess, got bored with the striking and said, I think I'm just going to start being a grappler now. And he became a grappler and was out grappling grapplers just basically with strength and still wasn't getting tired. And when you hit this guy, he just kind of looks at you. He literally will get punched straight in the fucking face, do this with his hands, and look at you and be like, didn't fucking affect me. And I think Tyson Pedro is probably going to land shots on this guy, and he's going to eat them. He's going to return shots. And if there's anybody that's going to fade in this fight, it's probably going to be Tyson Pedro. He just doesn't seem like that guy that's going to carry his power or his pressure in the second or third rounds. We've seen him slow down where Vitor just doesn't slow down. So, you know, I understand because I hear it, right? Every time there's an underdog that everyone likes, I know the underdog that everyone likes because everyone's like, oh, make him your lock of the week. He's got to be the lock of the week, right? This week, it's Tyson Pedro. Everyone's like, oh, he is the lock of the week. And he is capable. He has the abilities to win this fight. But until I see Vitor look human, I got to go with Vitor. I think he's just going to eat those shots, come with the pressure, either land that big left hook or maybe just kind of grind him out with the wrestling. So Vitor's a fucking he's a good looking dude.
He's definitely a good looking dude. He is sloppy though. You're not worried about the sloppy? Like he's sloppy.
And he's young too, so he'll tighten it up, but the sloppy hasn't fucked him up yet. I mean, he's almost like, because if you watch, and this is a stupid comparison.
Duplessis.
No, this is a stupid comparison because obviously they're not the same. But when you watch Alex Pereira strike, he gets hit. It's sloppy, but when he fucking lands that shot, when you're landing these little shots, boom, boom, and all of a sudden he just lands that big one, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's my pick for sure. And that's why I said I do think this is a fraud check type fight, though. And I'm using it wrong because the way everybody uses it is it's already a foregone conclusion he's going to lose. But I'm saying I think he passes that test. Like, ultimately, this I think could be the fight where people are like, all right, I guess he actually is very good. He's not a bum.
Right.
So we both think he wins. $9,000 though. Man, they are all so damn expensive. I didn't know DraftKings had so many freaking 9,000 price points in a slate.
It's crazy.
So I mean, I do think he wins. To get to the 9,000, he's going to need a finish or some wrestling, and he has been working the wrestling. But Tyson, is a good grappler, so Vitor may not work in the wrestling. May stick with the striking.
Yeah, he doesn't have any. The fact that he got that submission win was pretty crazy because he's one of those guys that when he was laying on top of people, he's looking at his corner like,
what am I doing?
They're like, put your arm here, and he's like looking at the corner. He's just so strong. He just holds people down. He's like, okay, and then I move my hips this way. And then it was so like a little a little kid like wrestling. Yeah.
No, I mean, he's super talented. This is the matchup for a reason. I think it is a good matchup, and I think the UFC is doing the right thing, like progressively building him up because he can be something. He's an exciting guy, and light heavyweight's kind of a trash weight class right now, right? Like, yeah, it's not great.
He can quickly become a guy for sure. They wouldn't mind pushing him, and he's beautiful.
No, 100%. If you do want to unlock,
he's not.
He's a handsome man. I don't know why you're obsessed with that fact. Somebody said Angelo beat up Jacob so bad it changed his sexuality, which I thought was a pretty funny comment.
If you know me, I've always
towed the line. Yeah,
I'm very comfortable with who I am.
If
you're Brazilian, you got a chance.
Regardless, yeah. If you are bronzed naturally,
Jesus Christ.
Well. If you want to help Jacob get to the promised land of Brazil.
Like Pollyanna, speaking of Alex.
She went the opposite direction. She said, let me go to Connecticut. I'll find a man in Connecticut.
They're so cute together. They literally are so cute together.
Okay. Are they actually together? Yeah. Are they actually together?
No, they're just grappling in the kitchen together, just fucking hanging out, Angelo. They're just friends. They're just friends. Yeah,
he is friends. That's who Tiffany told me not to worry about? No, don't worry about him. It's just my buddy at work.
Just a friend, yeah. Fucking. The second I saw that first sparring video and he shot a takedown and she went as she was getting taken down, it's like, oh yeah, I know that giggle. That's like when you're like on a date with a girl and you like fake wrestler and she's, stop it. That's when you know.
If you want to
go, get off, you want to get off. You're good. No, stop.
I'm just your waitress, bro. God. We want picks.com. Click become a member. It is only $10 a month. We do have a couple of super chatterooskis. We got $2.79 Canadian from Menace. That scene was funny. Love you, Jacob. And then we have VHS quality $5 super chat. I need Angelo to start doing a lock of the week as well. Jacob, I can't believe you're picking Biggie Boy.
Wow, spoilers.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for a lot of people. Thank you for the super chat, VHS and Menace. Ooh. Next up, at UFC Vegas 87, we have the main event of the evening. We have Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on Shamil Gaziev. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, 13-5 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off the submission loss to Jalton Almeida, taking on Shamil Gaziev, 12-0, undefeated in his career. He has 11 stoppage wins. This fight will not go the distance. You can bet whatever amount of money you want to bet on it.
That's what people said about Derek Lewis and Jalton, and ouch.
That is true. But that was a grappler.
I wouldn't say but when it comes to heavyweights, I wouldn't fucking say anything
they get slow.
Like that.
Yeah, they get slow fast.
And
doesn't take long to start slowing down.
Elevation in Vegas.
What?
The apex. There's 3 steps to the apex.
Yeah. Anyway, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, heavy-handed striker, pretty good striker at that. Muay Thai guy. He likes to counter-strike, though. Can be a bit tentative. Can take his time. He waits for you to commit, and then he'll find that one big punch. He is an effective striker. He doesn't know how to grapple at all. Can't defend a takedown. Can't get up if he is taken down. The takedown defense is at 73%, so that contradicts what I said, that he can't defend a takedown. But if you watch the tape, that 73% is a bit inflated with half takedown attempts and people that weren't actually trying to take him down, leaning against the cage, reaching for a leg, and giving up on it. Because the people who have tried to take him down have all done it, including Jalton Almeida, who just took him down, finished him on the ground. Jairzinho Rozenstruik does not like me. Not a fan of mine. When I broke him down for the Chris Daukaus fight, I mentioned he's a little gun shy, doesn't let his hands go, takes too long to commit to strikes, and I thought Chris Daukaus was going to get it done. Terrible take. Terrible take on my part. Chris Daukaus sucks. But Jairzinho took that personally. his Instagram for weeks. And every fight since, maybe not now, he was humbled a little bit against Charlton, for weeks is just me and his story. It's just a story posted on Instagram, and it's just beautiful me talking about Jairzinho's gun shy. He's not going to win this fight. I was wrong, but I'm going to be right this time because I think Shamil Gaziev wins this fight. This guy's a large Dagestani, but instead of being a nonstop wrestling Dagestani, he's a powerful striker. He marches forward. He lands big. Very athletic. He will work in spinning attacks when you least expect it. He has real power in his hands, a relaxed striking style. He can wrestle if he needs to. He's got some big double legs, big body locks. He can be taken down as well, but that's not going to be a concern here. He is very tough. He can deal with adversity. He's extremely dangerous. He's coming off the destruction of another undefeated prospect in Martin Bidet. I think this is Shamil all day. I think Shamil wins this fight. Minus 140 odds that we saw the other day. I think that was a gift. I threw a full unit on it. I think Rozenstruik is too one-dimensional. He's only good at one single thing. In modern MMA, you need to at least be good at two things. Be good at striking and takedown defense. Good. You can control where this fight goes. Be good at takedowns and striking. But he's not. It's only striking. And of course, he's a heavyweight and he can knock out Shamil Gaziev at any moment. Of course. That wouldn't surprise anybody. But I think Shamil is just too well-rounded. I think he's this new breed of MMA strikers. The guy's a heavyweight and he can spin, do whatever the hell he wants to do. And then he can wrestle if he has to wrestle. Shamil Gaziev is absolutely the pick. I have a full unit on him at minus 140. But if I am wrong about that, you should all go check out Jairzinho Rozenstruik's story because I will be in it looking stupid as hell. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Here's what I fucking think, Angelo.
Why you fake angry?
You got so disrespectful to my guy, Biggie Boy, that I sat here. I went to bet openly. I created a bet. I'm going to put in the chat right now. I put $350 on Biggie Boy to beat Shamil. It is being sent to you, and I have to assume that you will accept that bet, correct? Because you have no issues.
I already have a bet on Shamil. $100. I'm not gonna put $450 on a heavyweight. That's fucking dumb.
That's what I fucking thought. Because you know, as well as I know, that Biggie Boy is the better striker in this matchup. Not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. Now, Shamil does have the pressure. He does have the wild power. And if you're Biggie Boy in this matchup,
and the wrestling,
just don't brawl with this guy. Just do not brawl. Shamil is not going to fucking wrestle. He's already on Twitter talking about he feels disrespected because people are hating on this card and people are openly hating on this card and the main event. He's like, just watch, guys. He's not going to come in and fucking wrestle. He wants to knock out Biggie Boy in the main event. He's going to get in his face. He wants to brawl. And if you're Biggie Boy, don't brawl with this guy. I don't care if you have to fucking run away and literally sprint around the cage for 3 or 4 minutes. Because guess what, Biggie Boy? That's all it's going to take, my man. All it's going to take. Because if you watch that Martin Buday fight, we got about 4 minutes of him beating the fuck out of Martin Buday. And good for him for hanging in there. Got his eye busted up. But you saw about 4 minutes into that first round. It was like, oh, Shamil's tired. Oh, he is tired. And if Buday had any fight left in him to come out in the second round and put some pressure on Shamil, that fight was about to flip on its fucking head. And if you're Biggie Boy and you avoid being against the fence and trying to brawl out of it, he's going to push you against the fence. This is where we need the technical Biggie Boy Muay Thai kickboxer. Get out of there with footwork. Snipe him on your way out, but get the fuck out of there. Wait about 3 or 4 minutes, and then guess what, Biggie Boy? You fucking won this fight. This dude is going to fucking fade. And when he starts fading, that's when he's probably going to try to use the wrestling. Your defense is going to be there. You're going to lay on the volume. But stay away from brawling with this guy because he's not a technical striker. I mean, it's just ones, twos. He throws them from his hip. Don't try to brawl it, though, because he does have power. Let's circle away 3, 4 minutes. Let's get to the second round. If this fight gets to the second round, Biggie Boy's going to fucking smoke this dude. Biggie Boy's the better striker. Just stay safe early. Smoke him in the end. That's what you do, Biggie Boy. You know what's going on here. And Biggie Boy's going to win this fucking fight. And I just wish that you're man enough to take this bet. You talked a lot of shit, but you're not willing to back it up. And me and Biggie Boy see that.
Yeah, no, your striking hero here has a negative strike. He's hit more than he hits other people. He only lands 2.8 strikes per minute. He's hit with 3.15.
You can't have any confidence in your voice when you don't take that bet. I know.
I already bet. I have $100 bet.
Don't act like the fucking man. I got $350 sitting waiting for you. Pays
Okay,
$875. Wow. You don't even have to risk $350. It's only going to be what 200 and something for you. Can't do it though, huh, Mr. All
I have
Talk.
the under. I have the favorite.
Mr.
What are you
All
talking about?
Talk. Yep. That's all Lance. Yep.
You're not gonna bully me into this. That's fucking dumb as shit. Yeah, I mean that's about right. Can you shut up so we can finish this up, please? For fuck's sake. Shamil Gaziev, $8,300 in DraftKings. I think he's worth that, obviously. Jairzinho Rozenstruik can win this fight with one single punch. He only throws 2 a minute, so you're going to have to wait a minute for him to get a strikeout there. But if he does land it, it could be a big deal. $7,900. Pick your side. It is heavyweights. They are risky. Pick your side. I have picked my side. I'm going to go with
Yeah, you're so confident, too.
undefeated. You're not going to bully me into a bet on heavyweights. That's fucking dumb.
This guy. Imagine Biggie Boy sitting here laughing his ass off right now because you talked all that shit and then you won't even bet against him.
I did bet against him. Literally, I have bet against him. And I told the world to do it too. And I did it the other day. I put $100 on against Rozenstruik. I'm not going to go out there and put $350 more and have $450
I thought something
on
was such a lock.
Jairzinho Rozenstruik to lose. The dude can
I sat here with last week's main event with Brandon Royval, and I put $350 on Brandon Royval.
That's you. You don't have a family.
That is me.
Yeah, familyless, womanless.
Big old balls.
Yeah, because they're full. Because they're full. Because a woman hasn't even looked through the window of your apartment, let alone go there and drain.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't. Prove me wrong.
Okay. It's on the OnlyFans. I mean, you can see that. I mean, this.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
/the Freckle Settlement or something.
Here you go. Sam B will take your money. Bet this idiot. Oh, you guys are on the same side. Never mind. Anyway. You're going to go Rozenstruik and DraftKings as well? $7,900 in your lineup?
Easy.
I don't know why. Holeless. I don't know why that
Ignacio, don't fucking turn on me now. You're usually my dude. He's always in the live streams.
Anyway, guys, that is the breakdown. Become a premium member. Just go to WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month. And you can unlock all the picks, the bets, the tools, the round line leans, and more. We do have some super chats I forgot about. $2 from Siggy. Shamil got that micropene build. Okay. And Reaper with the 50 Canadian. I love you guys. Do what you do. Keep acing all of it.
All
Sink.
for it.
All for it.
You
Keep
do
acing.
struggle reading, huh?
All for it. Friday I have to read. I'm the mystery reader in my daughter's school. Let's hope I don't fuck up.
Jesus
the
Christ.
cat.
Did they give you the book ahead of time so you can read? I mean, that was always a thing in school. When you're going around, you go on paragraph by paragraph. You're like, okay, 8 people ahead of me. There's one paragraph, and you like read the paragraph ahead of time just so you know.
No, I can read. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. You're going to get the picks, the bets, the round line leans. You're going to get the live movement tracker. You're going to get the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. You're going to get far more than just me and Jakey Boy. You're going to get Artem breaking down everything. The dude just went 11-0 on PFL, and the Pick Doctor, that is an AI picking fights based solely off of historical data. All of this for only $10 for an entire month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.
It would be funny if you were just reading and all of a sudden at your teacher's school, yeah, just like it's just in you. And kids, if you didn't
then
know,
the little girl went to WeWantPicks.com.
and then she went to her parents and she said
she
"You
got
guys
her
can win
dad's
so
credit
much
card.
money."
Yeah.
She went, well, don't promote that, but she that's an issue with like Fortnite streamers and stuff. The kids will literally go steal their parents' credit cards and start donating a whole bunch of money. They have to block people from the channel because they'll fucking just literally like thousands of dollars on their parents' credit card. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a problem. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Great stream as always. Had 400 plus people in here. We appreciate every last one of you. We are on every social you could ever imagine at We Want Picks. We have a second YouTube channel, Picks Nation. Check it all out. We appreciate all of you. Good luck this weekend.
Kuna Matata.